did not go unnoticed, shall we say, on the internet and elsewhere, that you were on the floor having some conversations with Republicans, including Matt Gaetz and Paul Gosar. Can you enlighten us at all as to what those conversations were like? And is there any hope that you guys work together to get Hakeem Jeffries elected as Speaker of the House?
You know, I think in chaos, anything is possible, especially in this era. You know, it is unlikely, but there's always a possibility. I do think that in terms of some of those conversations, I mean, listen, some of us in the House of Representatives are independent in certain ways from our party. And I do believe that in some of those conversations, there are things that are happening on the floor. These machinations are happening on the floor. And sometimes the leadership of your party, in this case, the Republican Party, will be making claims in order to try to twist arms and get people in line. And a lot of times, information and truth is currency. So sometimes to be able to fact check some of the claims that McCarthy is making, whether Democrats are going to defect or not, et cetera, is important in order to keep him honest and to keep people honest in general. And so, you know, I think what was important today was to send the message that we were united behind Hakeem Jeffries as the now minority leader or as leader of the Democrats, and that there would be no defections, that Democrats are here, we're not going anywhere. And if they want to play ball, we're open to that.
That's going to make a lot of people, I think, on one side of the aisle very happy, and a lot of people on the other side of the aisle very concerned.
Welcome to another episode of the Nick and CJ Show. I'll put that back up in a minute. I'm one of your hosts. I'm CJ. What's up, Nick?
What's poppin', my friends, my family? We are back with a very fun episode of RBN Live. You can call this the victory lap day. This is the day where the force to vote advocates was vindicated. And you're going to see, we got a ton of stuff to talk about. You're going to see why these people do not want us to talk about force to vote. I have noticed a coordinated push for the last 2 years where people are like, oh, come on, just move on. Move on for force to vote. Move on. Why are you guys still talking about force to vote? Move on. You guys notice this? Now they come out. Now they coming out with this on the next level. We won't move on. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. There's a reason why they want you to move on. Because the anti-force vote people age like milk. Like these people was completely exposed. Completely exposed. And I'll pass to you, CJ, because we didn't start with the announcements and we didn't get right into it. But have you guys noticed that the lockdown left? The NATO left? The Biden voting left? I mean, the people who was advocating vote for Joe Biden? And the anti-force to vote people. It's a complete circle on the Venn diagram. The same people.
It's the same people.
And I'm going to ask you guys this, because we're going to go through a lot of these receipts. Me and Briahna was having fun on Twitter, and we was calling out how Ryan Grimm and a lot of these people are starting to change history. They're trying to rewrite history. And Bree was like, nah, son, I got the receipts. You guys said. They trying to rewrite history because they are embarrassed. They had been exposed by Jimmy, and now the RBN left. We've been calling these people out from day one. And I want you guys to think, ask yourself, is it a coincidence that the people who are advocating for funding NATO, AOC on the squad, all vote for it. The people who's member of the lockdown pro-mandate left. And the people who's advocating voting for Joe Biden, anti-force to vote. Do you guys really think that it's a coincidence that they all is the same people? The same exact people are getting these issues wrong. You think they're getting it wrong on accident? We will explore that here throughout this episode. CJ, I can run on that.
And that's why I was saying it's gleeful. It's gleeful the way they're doing it. And yes, I'm going to do this to you right now.
I want to read one super chat because it asks an important question. I actually was tempted in talking about this a little bit in the previous segment, but I decided against it. Now I'm going to. The question is, can you explain how this force the vote is different than Dems force the vote? There are lots of force the vote proponents who say AOC should have done what the Republicans are doing now with Pelosi in 2020. Well, remember, force the vote was about withholding votes for Nancy Pelosi's speakership role until she made the concession that there would be a floor vote on single payer healthcare in the House, which would have failed. Okay, so the ask was for a vote that would fail. I mean, I at this point, I almost just wish that it would have happened because I would give anything to.
She stops there as if her just saying that proves her point. And I'm waiting like, oh, and can you continue? But she stops there, Nick, as if it failed. And she goes as if, and I'm waiting, and what? Because aren't we still talking about this 4 days? So, so you think it's a bad thing to be talking about Medicare for all as an ask for 4 days? That's what you think. Go ahead, bro. I mean, go ahead, Nick. That's ridiculous.
Now do you guys see why we won't let this go? We can't let this go because these are the people who led the left off the cliff. So over the last 4 days, I have seen nothing but massive media coverage of this event. So imagine in the middle of the pandemic, I mean, this is 2020, the beginning of 2020. So like, sorry, 2021. So imagine at that point, you have a debate on an issue that is massively popular in the middle of a pandemic where you're arguing against Nancy Pelosi, one of the most unpopular politicians in the modern era. So I want you guys to understand this. Corporate news, deeply underwater. The Congress, 24% approval rating. Nancy Pelosi, one of the most unpopular people. Medicare for all, the most popular mainstream policy idea. And you don't want to argue? You don't want to make us think and have a public fight about that? Which that would have done. What have you guys seen? Have you guys seen anything else on the news or trending politically other than this House floor vote? Can you imagine if the squad, I mean, and we talked about this last time, where the Republicans that are holding up against Kevin McCarthy, they're not asking for anything tangible for the working class people, right? They're just them to make it seem like they're anti-establishment, and they're asking for, and this is a good thing, they're asking for the ability to call for a speaker vote at any given time.
Everybody should have that always. We should always have that. Go ahead. I know you might be going down that same route. That's a good thing. To be able to say, hey, we're going to check you if you out of line for the people. We're representing the people. That's how it should always be to me. Go ahead.
Imagine if AOC and the squad did the same thing, where they was like, okay, if Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Party, if you guys betray the ask of the Progressive Unity Squad, remember that Unity Squad they made with Joe Biden that literally got nothing accomplished? Biden completely screwed them over. Imagine the Progressives like, all right, we have a demand. Medicare for all for a floor vote and make it easier to recall Nancy Pelosi. So as soon as, and remember, in this situation, we're talking about a real left in Congress, right? So in this situation, imagine as soon as the Democrat Party backed away from the public option like they did, they start funding the military more, they start funding Israel. They're like, nope, new speaker. Then they call this ruckus. Then they were like, all right, we have a new floor vote, there'll probably be no speaker. That would be an incredible position for the left be. And then the media cycle for the next few days will be like, oh my God, I can't believe the progressives are doing this. Why are they doing it? They're doing it because they're upset because they dropped healthcare. So the reason why this conversation is not really working well for the Republicans for the most part, because they're not asking for something popular, right? If you had this amount of pressure that is put on the Democratic establishment arguing for healthcare in a pandemic, there is literally no losing. You lose that first vote, but when you build movements for change, ask how women's suffrage passed. It's not about winning the first time. NHS lost countless times, 20 plus times. The National Health Service in Britain failed when up to the vote. It's all about raising awareness, getting people on your side, and building the movement, which the progressive boutique left do not want to do. They do not want to put the work in. They don't.
What retaliation would they get that they want to act like they're gonna get? They're gonna, and then so AOC couldn't go to the mic and be like, you know, that thing we did, everybody, where everybody was supported for 4 days, where we talked about Medicare for all. I'm being retaliated against. Why don't she just go in front of the camera and say that and see how that goes for whoever's retaliating against her?
CJ,
go ahead.
About this, and I want to have this debate with anyone who's anti-forced vote. They would say, and I already see so many people scrambling in shambles, trying to defend why they have no credibility anymore and no basic political instincts. They say, oh my God, look at the pushback that the Republicans are getting. Do you guys really want the squad to have this pushback?
Yes.
Well, for one, yes. Secondly, if we are wrong, what is the worst case scenario? Are you assuming that if AOC fought the Democratic leaders who are unpopular, challenging their leadership and forcing them to implement popular policy, that she would be more unpopular than she is today? Think about this. Guys, think about this. This is the argument that Etta Karen would make. And TYT and these protectors of the ruling class. I'm gonna show you guys some examples. Some people are like, oh my God, I'm so happy AOC and the squad didn't do this. It would have been so bad for them. Nigga, do you guys understand that AOC's approval rating right now is worse than Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi? Do you guys understand that? So how would it be worse? In fact, I will make the strong argument that it will be much better. In fact, I will make the argument that if AOC was seen fighting her party leaders, she would be among the most popular.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, it would improve. It would
Bernie
absolutely
until
improve.
recently. Bernie, for the first time I've ever seen, is now underwater. Why do you guys think that is? I'm gonna show you guys the receipt here soon. Bernie's like -1. He always been positive because whether it's true or not, right? He had the illusion of fighting the two-party duopoly. So even people who didn't agree with him, who didn't like him, they were like, well, at least I know he's not a Democratic Party sellout. I just disagree with his democratic socialism. And that's why he had a lot of conservative support. And then his numbers tumbled, literally free fell. He's like -1 now for the first time I ever seen, because people now see Bernie as a partisan actor. So imagine if 2021, or hell, since day one, AOC been a thorn on the side of the Democratic Party, she would not be as hated by independents and conservatives as she is now.
She would be beloved. She would be beloved by the people. Beloved. She will be walking into every election. Walking in. She will be getting way more money than she's getting now, and she still will have the support of the furthest left people who's still willing to participate in this politics. But let's do a couple of announcements here. Go ahead if you were going to say one more thing.
Just because this is the receipt, and then we can get to announcements. Just to show you guys. So for the people like Anna, and for the people, I saw so many of these shit lip takes. This is AOC's numbers. Look at the date, December 17th. And you notice not a single one of the boutique left did a story on this. You want to know who the only people who did the story on this?
We did.
People who love AOC, the people who get anti-forced vote, nigga, they got their head in the sand. They were doing their best not to cover anything that was exposed or weak.
Now, if you listen to them,
to the audience,
if you listen to them and you happen to be here today, think about that. Think about how they're shielding content from you so that you go in a particular thinking way. Think about what they're doing. What you can say about RBN, we don't shield a point of view. People come on here and say stuff. I mean, I think one of the most contentious conversations is obviously the MAGA communism, socialist patriot. That we still have people on and disagree. Hell, we had Ryan Grimm on after we had just had beef on Twitter, and he came on. And we showed him the respect.
And there would be more if people wasn't scared. There would be more of that if people don't do it. People don't. We're not big enough for people to feel like they had to come on the RB and defend themselves. Every once in a while, we get someone like when Jackson was like, "Oh shit, they shitting on MAGA communism." Come on. When Ryan Grimm saw he was getting dragged, so I got going on.
Yeah, both of them was in. Yeah, both of them saw we were going on, and they
was
like,
"Yeah, let's volunteer for it." But I'll back to you for announcements. But you see,
all right, so yeah,
you see here AOC. -16. So the people who are advocating caution, remember the CIA infiltration list? The people who advocate caution, we got to be cautious. We can't make no risk. We're going to have a revolution. We just play it safe to the two-party duopoly. So the CIA tactics is these people want to advocate caution, and their caution they was advocating is that they do this, it will hurt their political career. Said the real dumb left. This already hurt their career.
If you have those CIA tactics ready after this
announcement,
I would just love to just bring it up as part of the announcements, maybe at the end. So let's show this. We have our website, people. So let's start there with the announcements. Here is our website. Some of you may have already been there. I'll take this down. Here is the URL. but this is the website. It's not fully done, but it's done enough where I feel comfortable enough to publicly stream about it. So here it is. You can go, about us, the members. I'll kind of click through it a little bit. It says they're Revolutionary Blackout. Along the side here, you can connect to some of our social media that are preset. And then I love this: strategize nationally and organize locally. We have to have a national plan where people feel connected nationally, but we're executing in local plans that work for your local community. And RBN is going to be showing how to do that with our upcoming chapters. And then I just kind of updated a little bit, added a couple of little bit of pictures right there. That's when you guys were doing the work when Tour for the Poor. So you can go check it out. These are some of the pillars of our beliefs: anti-imperialist, anti-racist, anti-capitalist, anti-war, and then who we are. I felt like, or the web designer felt like, because they asked, because it was completely different pictures we're going to use. It was like, you have something that's showing like the actual work. And I was like, yeah, we show Rome. We got pictures of Rome cutting unhoused people's hair. We have that.
Yeah,
she was like, yeah,
this
I
new
love that.
site is
Let's get that.
So fire.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I love that. And then here is where you'll just see our latest clips. So whatever the latest one, you'll see this was uploaded today. It'll be here. So this updates literally if we post something new. And then the designer also loved the picture of the bench where it says, "Fight the empire, destroy capitalism, rebuild with socialism." This is one of the benches that was damaged. And then, shows our mission. And then down here, you can see our email. And that's the next thing I wanted to kind of show. Our email. This is now our new official email. So begin to use this. info@revblack.network. I'm sorry, info@revblacknetwork.com. So that's our new email. So please transition any communication to this email. Okay, transition any communication. We also have a second one. We don't have to use it as often. That one is outreach@revblacknetwork.com. And that'll be more used for when we start doing more outreach in the communities for people that want to contact us specifically about the outreach we do. And then, so, both of those emails, if you didn't catch the email, they're both here at the bottom of the website. You can join the movement or subscribe to us at the bottom there. And then, we have some, you can go check out the members. Each of us, you can go to each of us and see our bio, click some of our links. Here's mine. You can click several links, follow TikTok, that type of thing. And then we have things like our media. So some of our more popular, more important episodes, we have a lot of them just, listed here on the website. You can watch them right here on the website, the actual episodes, the origins of the CIA. It's time to exit the Democratic Party. One of the episodes with Margaret Kimberly, of course, we had to put on there because she's the guest that's been on our network the most, and you can see Rome's Rebellion. But anyway, so that's our media. And then we have our summits where you can go and view all about the summits. You can see the flyer, and then you can click learn more, and it'll take you to the videos for each summit. So you can check out our summits. And then our outreach is still under construction. Got another meeting this Friday, actually, with the web designer to finish up some more because we still got to add RBN chapters and all the information about we're launching all of them this year. This is just talks about our outreach.
I'm going to interrupt just for this question here. And a super chat. Thank you for the 199, Lisa. Is that RBN t-shirts, stickers, ? Coming soon?
This is something we need help from our community. Because the reason we launched something before and we didn't do our due diligence and found out that the maker of the shirt was a venture capitalist who owned. So we haven't found anybody. So if you know of anybody that is not participating in funding imperialism or, these types of things that we would care about, that's what we haven't found. But we're ready to do shirts. Like we have the designs. We just haven't got the maker of the shirt. So if you're able to provide information on a person or people or organization that we can use, please email us at info@revblacknetwork if you know anybody. Great question. I'll take that down now. So I'll end here as far as the website. this is showing like Rome is the library Rome is going to be working on trying to raise money for. And then this is just placement pictures. So these aren't the actual, but then we'll have tour for the poor pictures and then community pictures, community and other mutual aid pictures. You'll be able to scroll through and see some of the things we do. This one right here is the diaper. Oops, let me scroll up a little more so you can see. This is the diaper run they did, Nick, out when it was out in your country. I haven't loaded all of them yet, but some of them have been loaded. So yeah, it's a great website to find out information about us, who we are, what we believe. It will be getting more expanded. So don't, just look for that. Keep going back and check. On this page, you can see under About Us, you can see what kind of our overall beliefs, generic beliefs about electoral politics, imperialism, capitalism, reparations, and yeah. So that's some of the main points you can check out. So yeah, that is the website, Nick. The next thing is let's like the stream, everybody. This is going to be a doozy of a stream. We already know a lot of people are going to have to watch this on replay, or going to want to watch this on replay. But for those that are online and are able to watch right now, we do want to kind of draw those people in, and we can only do that with your help. So please like the stream. We're at 188 likes right now, but we're at 385 people watching. So could we push that to 175? That's like another 200. Maybe 190. So let's get another 190 people to like this stream. Let's get some more people in here to listen to this fun conversation. It's Thursday. We're likely not to do one tomorrow unless there's just some more crazy information. Tomorrow we might be off tomorrow, Friday. So let's get as many people as we can. The last thing, join our Substack. If you want access to our Discord, you can either be a paying Patreon subscriber, and if you aren't, please do if you are able to support. If you can't, the free way to get access to our Discord is to join our Substack. Also, the benefits of joining our Substack, you get notifications when we go live. You get notifications when we upload clips. And shout out to Aaron. Aaron is our new editor and has been doing great work. She did this actual graphic right here, along with the rest of the most of the graphics been done. So if you're able to support our labor fund, equipment and labor fund, here's our Cash App and our Venmo. These funds go to pay our labor, our editor, and we're going to be doing some more hiring in the next few months. So this fund here will be ongoing because we want to make sure we're paying our staff what they want to be paid. So make sure if you're able to contribute. We're doing big things, and we only can do it with your support. And since I have sales background, I don't have a problem asking. So I think I'm going to start pushing and being more of the representative of the fundraising for RBN. So, Nick, I'm going to pass it to you for what you had set up here, sir.
So I'm going to show you guys the CI infiltration list. I feel like this is a good segment to go back to it. We did maybe multiple segments on this, but it's been a while. This is a tweet I made in the summer of 2021. And the reason I made this tweet, and also a big reason why I got into independent media, because I saw a ton of revolutionary indiscipline among the progressive movement. And I knew this. I saw this a long time ago. I can't even tell you guys when I saw this. It's been something that's been living rent-free in my mind for years now. Like when I see the infiltration techniques, how they infiltrate unions, left movements. And this list is very comprehensive, but I'm gonna highlight, I'm gonna cover a few things here from this list of we got it from the Freedom of Information Act, how the CIA infiltrates. They was doing this largely when there was a big labor push in this country, and also they use this in South America and any sort of black radical group, like for example, like you saw how the government was super invested in infiltrating the Black Panthers. So they would have these people here to do these things to destabilize the left movement. And as someone who knew about these tactics, I saw Force to Vote. And you guys see that when I tweeted this June 2021, the summer of 2021. And if I don't know if you guys remember, that was when the March for Medicare for All was going on. And as I said at the beginning of this live stream, the people who smeared the March for Medicare for All, the NATO left, the lockdown pro-mandate left, like they all the people who were for voting for Joe Biden, they all the same people. Like when you're on Twitter, when you watch independent media, you notice these things, right? And I'm like, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. So then I tweeted this, and this went pretty viral. people passing along, and I saw a lot of people say, I never heard of this stuff before. And I'm like, guys, this explains everything that happened this last year between the people voting for Joe Biden, between the people who was against forced to vote, the people who were smearing the Joe Strike Summit, people who were smearing the March for Medicare for All. Look at this. Number 4 is like one of the best things. Bring up irrelevant issues as frequently as possible. Oh my God, we can't force the vote. What if it fails? What if Kevin McCarthy becomes speaker? What if AOC and the squad become disenfranchised? You guys notice how the anti-force vote people was doing number 4 all the time.
What do you mean? They're doing it now. They're doing it now. They didn't do it with the strike break. You telling me that's not what Ryan Grimm has been doing?
Absolutely. Everything
just mucking it up.
Once you realize this, listen, that's why when I tweeted this out originally, because I'm shocked that a lot of people didn't know this. I said some of y'all need to learn how the CIA infiltrates the left and common bad faith tactics they use to divide and conquer. This is why I never fall for it. See, as soon as I start seeing this shit, you're done. Like I don't trust you anymore. Look at number 1. Insist on doing everything through channels, going through proper channels. Never permit shortcuts to be taken in order to expedite decisions.
Isn't that what happened with forced to vote? It didn't come from the proper people. Didn't our general strike summit? It didn't come from the proper people. Now that same people talking about some general strike with Chris Smalls. Proper channels.
Absolutely, CJ. And look at number 3. When possible, refer all matters to committees for further study and consideration. You see how everything's about slowing stuff down? Everything when it comes to left infiltration, it's about slowing shit down as much as possible. We have revolutionary discipline when you study how revolutions occurred before. It's all about raising awareness, building your army, and then putting out a plan to action. But according to these people, like, oh no, we gotta study these things. We gotta make sure we're not making any mistakes. And then they advocate against education. Look at what Anna Conspiracy said. She was like, well, and these people say, oh well, the vote will fail. No conversation about the massive dialogue that will go on even throughout the process of it failing, because they don't care. They don't care at all. Number 4 is like the biggest one. Number 7 is another one that's huge. Advocate caution. Be reasonable and urge your fellow Confederates. What did I say? It's hard to read. Your fellow Confederates to be reasonable. So pretty much they say you gotta advocate caution, be reasonable, and avoid haste that might result in embarrassments or difficulties later on. Hell, number 7 is probably better than number 4.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's a nice one too.
What if we didn't vote and we fail? Wouldn't that be embarrassing? You see how it's all about not taking chances, because that's how stuff works. That's how the civil rights movement was successful, because they didn't take no chances. We all know that. You guys see, once you understand these things, you can see through the NATO and boutique left, and that's why people always say, "Oh my God, you guys got great bullshit detectors." We be calling all these people out.
This is a guiding principle. These are guiding lights that we. This is why we revisit them all the time. And Nick and I was like, we don't know what the fuck we're gonna do in this stream. It's so much stuff. We don't know where to start. And this is beautiful how we let this just develop. And this is great that we're starting out here, because what we're doing, we are using this for people to look through the lens of the rest of this information. Understand what these people are doing here. So it's great that we're covering these CIA infiltration tactics. And understand, what do you mean they're CIA? Nobody's saying that. Yes, you don't have to be attached to the CIA to be doing their tactics. That's all we're saying. So whether you are, in cahoots, whether you are an agent undercover, whether you are an intelligence cutout like the Intercept or the Washington bureau chief of that intelligence cutout like Ryan Grimm, this is what crossed my line.
Ryan Grimm,
it crossed my line. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead, CJ. I was about to say Ryan Grimm memorized this list. That's all. But go ahead.
No, I was saying, if you may have noticed the rhetoric with me when I'm talking to him has really gone, because he went out of the I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt to now I'm like, he's definitely in the camp of CIA infiltration tactics. Now, so I don't have respect for that. And understand, people who are shielding for the ruling class and they're the petty bourgeoisie, Those people deserve to be tarred and feathered and embarrassed and ridiculed, just like the ruling class.
Absolutely.
Go ahead, Nick.
Absolutely. So on point. That's exactly what this is. That's why I told you I saw this and this lived rent free in my head for years. That's why as soon as the force to vote shit happened, I was like, whoa, they doing it. They're fucking doing it. There was no tricking me, right? So I'm gonna show you guys this, and this is what literally everyone knew to be the case. And then after this, we can go back to the Anna video and we can dissect.
Yeah, absolutely.
More. But this was obvious to literally everybody at the time of forced to vote. We have someone who's a careerist, someone who is addicted to power, the way that Nancy Pelosi. Imagine you are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, but you are working in your 80s. Why? They all do it. Jim Clyburn, our ruling classes. Oh, there have been many studies and breakdowns of this. These people are addicted to the power and the influence. It's not even about money anymore. You think Pelosi need a fucking paycheck? Nigga, they get off on the power. So if you have this amount of leverage on these people, shouldn't you be able to extract concessions? Because if Pelosi doesn't become speaker, she's gonna do everything she can to avoid that. Not only just because of the practical applications of the ruling class, but because when she have dinner parties with her friends, she don't want to be like, oh my God, I would deny my speakership. She want to brag that she's the speaker of the house. That's why this is so horrific. I've seen people on corporate news, oh my God, this is embarrassing for Kevin McCarthy. Because among his ruling class friends, he's not going to be able to say he had the gravel. So imagine what the progressives could have got from Nancy Pelosi, who her only motivation is to maintain power. And the dumb left, the real dumb left, was the people who was like, oh, this will never work. Nancy Pelosi will say, fuck you. They will never get any concessions. Meanwhile, in reality, this is just what happened. After the Republicans forced to vote on Kevin McCarthy, he was publicly embarrassed the same way that Nancy Pelosi would have been publicly embarrassed. Now, I'm going to read the headline. McCarthy resorts to new concessions to hardliners to win speaker posts. Let me read that again. McCarthy resorts to new concessions. So are you telling me it worked? Well, as the corporate media, as the institutionalists are melting down and talking only to the boomers, because that's what they worry about. They're like, oh my God, what about the media coverage? You mean only the boomers watch it? Is that what you're worried about? Only the boomers. Right now, the boomers, if you force to vote, they will hate your guts because they'll watch Morning Joe. They'll watch Sean Hannity. They'll see you melting down. CJ, I don't know if you saw it. I'm gonna say this for later in the stream. I don't know if you guys saw Sean Hannity versus Lauren Boebert.
I did not. I did not.
Never, ever. The same day I broke my streak with the 5 last stream. Last stream was the first time in 2 years I ever did a story on the 5. Today may be the first time I ever do a Sean Hannity segment because Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, we've never done one before.
Like it was literally trending, and Sean Hannity was fighting Lauren Boebert, and Boebert handed him his ass to the point where all the right wing people on social media is calling out Sean Hannity, and it was like, hell yeah, Lauren Boebert, expose Sean Hannity. No, seriously,
wow.
Wow,
Sean Hannity is getting called out. Wow.
Yeah, and that's later on. I got the receipts. I'm gonna show you guys that. Imagine if AOC was being grilled like she would be. Like if she did this, the only thing the force vote people got right is that she was pissed off the Democratic Party, which is the only thing they got right. Because you would have Chris Hage, you would have Richard Maddow. It would be in prime time. Not Chris Matthews, but Lawrence O'Donnell. Because he got the same time slot as Sean Hannity. It would have been Lawrence O'Donnell versus AOC, and then AOC explaining why they're not voting for Nancy Pelosi because she's corrupt, because she's a war criminal, and because she's not an advocate for health care. Do you know how bad that will make O'Donnell and the Democratic Party look? Literally, the only people who will be cheering them on will be the boomers watching the MSNBC. Meanwhile, everyone else will be shitting on them. That's the fight the progressives did not want. They didn't want that fight. They don't want that funk.
At all.
We do. So you guys see, this headline proves it. I'm going to read it one more time. I'm going to read the headline. McCarthy resorts to hard concessions to hardliners to win speaker posts. Kevin McCarthy signaled he will give in to more demands from the far-right rebels. Imagine this headline. I'm going to read the opposite so you guys can see the amazing reality that we missed out on because of progressive cowards and their enablers. Representative Nancy Pelosi signaled she will give in to more demand from the far-left rebels after losing. Can you imagine that headline?
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So I went on. This receipt alone shows that the forced vote people should never be taken seriously again, and they lost all credibility. You know, you want to add to this, CJ?
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it's so telling, and they're gonna be fully exposed for the rest of this episode. So let me actually share my screen and bring up that Anna video again, so we can.
Yeah. So now that you guys saw that, now that you guys saw the headline, now you guys see our coverage of this. Now we're 35 minutes in. Now let's revisit this. Now play for the music. Now let's see how bad this ages. Now that we just discussed the concept with you guys. Go ahead, CJ.
I want to read one super chat because it asks an important question. I actually was tempted in talking about this a little bit in the previous segment, but I decided against it.
Because look at what she just said there. I wanted to say this earlier, but I wanted the video to play. Play that beginning part again and pause around 10 seconds. Play it again and pause at like 10 seconds.
I want to read one super chat because it asks an important question. I actually was tempted in talking about this a little bit in the previous segment, but I decided against it. Now I'm going.
That's 10 seconds. Keep going.
You guys see how she said she wasn't going to talk about this, but then decided to because she got
the very next segment. The very next segment.
You guys see? So TYT did a poll, and it will show that 80% of TYT's own audience supported Force the Vote. So the reason why Anna Kasparian didn't talk about this because she got a chat that was like, "Yo, what about that Force the Vote shit, Anna?" Well, why that's why now you guys know why they want people to move on, even their own audience, and even the people who may not have discipline, but they're not bad faith, right? They watch TYT because they don't know any better. But even they was like, what the fuck is this? So they get these questions all the time. And so look at what Anna said. She said, I didn't want to talk about this. She didn't want to talk about Force the Vote. But she got a question. You guys see that? I want to emphasize that. But now let's go ahead and play it.
Let's go. All right.
Going to. The question is, can you explain how this Force the Vote is different than Dems Force the Vote? There are lots of Force the Vote proponents who say AOC should have done what the Republicans are doing now with Pelosi in 2020.
You see how she didn't want to talk about that?
Force the Vote.
You said this is a big thing. She like, I wasn't going to talk about it. I'm buying this segment later. But her audience is watching shit like, nigga, are you not going to address the elephant in the room?
They didn't want to. They didn't want to.
Was about withholding votes for Nancy Pelosi's speakership role until she made the concession that there would be a floor vote on single-payer health care in the House, which would have failed. Okay, so the ask was for a vote that would fail. I mean, I at this point, I almost just wish that it would have happened because I would give anything to have Briahna Joy Gray move on with her life and maybe talk.
And by the way, Briahna Joy Gray, I don't know if you saw this, CJ, called Anna out after this video. I'm down to talk about this. We see if Anna wants that heat because
they don't like to have intellectual conversations because the last one with the Cenk conversation, I don't know if you broke that down. That was one of our most highly watched videos when we broke that down, that interview he did with Cenk, and it did not go well at all in their own comments. Their own comments, not us. I'm talking, it did not go well at all, that interview. And then I posted it on Twitter and it went viral. It went like 100,000 views. People it was like 3,000 comments shredding him. And I tagged that motherfucker too. So I know he heard. I know he saw it.
Yeah, TYT got fucking destroyed by Matt Gaetz. Can you imagine Anna Kasparian versus Briahna Joy Gray? That will be a slaughterhouse, son. Anna couldn't hold a finger to Brie or anyone who ever been on this network. She literally just repeats bullshit talking points and got there because she was the first one there on TYT. There is no meritocracy here.
Ole
I
Inmate
guarantee
also
you she won't
destroyed
take it.
him.
I
when she was
guarantee
on
you she
there.
won't take it because I saw Bree reply to this like, "Hey, yo, Anna, you can talk. You got a free invitation to come on my show and talk about this." Guarantee she won't take it. I really do. That would be great content. I really do hope she does.
Their debates with black people haven't gone well. Briahna Joy is one that sticks out. Ole Inmate also, I don't know if you saw, she went on there about bail reform. It did not go well when she had the facts, and Cenk could just say, because remember during that is when she didn't know Cenk was not on the screen, so she was seeing Cenk's face and she was commenting it on camera, saying, Cenk, I have the facts. It doesn't matter if you shake your head. This is what it is. Like, so you can clearly see that he was being a baby off screen. So it would not go well. All they can do is scream, Nick. That's how their audience only believe them because nobody challenges them. And they have nobody with a opposing point of view. They just, it's truly the only way for their audience. We say, bring people on. We have conservatives. We have people on the left. We have non-political people. We say bring it on all the time, but let's continue with the video unless you had something. Thank you for the super sticker, Gaza West. All right,
we can continue.
We talk about something different. Like, it's ridiculous. But this McCarthy situation is different because the concessions that McCarthy has agreed to don't even matter for the group of Republicans who refuse to vote for him. Okay? They don't care about the concessions. They don't trust him, and they've said so. They don't trust him. They're not going to vote for him. It's not about concessions. The whole force the vote thing was about an ask that would.
You see how she just made them actually producing concessions, saying it's not about concessions. So she can just move on now. So she can just move on. I've already said it's not about concessions for them, so she can just move on.
And she's misleading her audience. I showed you guys the receipt. I wanted to leave with that early to show that they were getting concessions that are socially conservative concessions. They are having concessions on spending bills. And they're literally making Kevin McCarthy agree to be more socially conservative, more fiscally conservative. That is literally what the whole thing is about. And he is giving them that. So she is misleading her audience. That's literally what the article report. But once again, in non-meritocracy, what we say last episode, CJ, these white people, they can get on stream. They don't have to do any research because they got producers that do it for them. We do all our research here. All you have to do to make it in this space is be white, pretty, and confident. You don't have to have any sort of intellectual knowledge. You don't have to have any receipts. You can be just blatantly wrong. Like Anna said, they don't got any concessions. They did get concessions. They did get
the only thing I would add is you don't only have to be pretty because there's Cenk. So you gotta be, you get what I'm saying? So it's just if you're willing to really go to the mat for the establishment status quo, that's what they want. And that's what we're seeing with Ryan Grin. That's what we're seeing with Sam. It's literally in the face of all logic and proof with your own eyes. They're still trying to act like somehow this wouldn't be a great strategy. Let me read a couple of things I have written down. If we don't understand what's happening here, Nick, just take a step back, a wide view back, a look at the progressive strategy, the Justice Democrat strategy, the inside game, and you tell me how this not has slipped into the abyss of the right. You tell me this haven't shifted majorly to the right, the strategy? Look what they're okay with, Nick. They're okay with funding Ukraine. They're okay with funding Israel. They're okay with strike breakers. That's not a non-cancelable offense. And now we get to this where they're being proven to have been wrong with force to vote, and we could have tangible wins from these clowns, and they still have these defenders, Nick. It's amazing to me how this strategy has shifted right, and nobody's saying nothing about how the strategy has shifted right.
Thank you for the $5, Alexandra. She says, "Stay salty, Anna. The left is done with these unserious clowns. These deeply unserious clowns, I would like to add."
Yes.
And then she says, "Fully exposed." Thank you for the $5, Alexandra. Let's continue the video, CJ.
Absolutely. I think it's just about over a few more seconds.
Would have
let's listen.
Ultimately failed and could have potentially hurt single-payer healthcare or the pursuit of single-payer healthcare.
It would have hurt it.
Because
it would have hurt it. So the person who has medical debt, the poor people who are for Medicare for all, they would have saw the rich ruling class, the Congress that has a 24% approval rating, the people who are massively hated, they would see them deny their right to get health care, and then they'd be like, you know what? They got a point. Is that what Anna really think will happen? The poor people who are for health care, the conservatives who are for health care, literally the 1/3 of Republicans that will poll that for Medicare for all. A lot of them are for it because fiscal conservative reasons. You think all these people that are for Medicare for all are going to see it fail? They're going to see the ruling class deny them, and then they're going to be like, shit, guess we can't have it. What is the historical comparison to that? When has that ever been a thing? So when women lost the women's suffrage vote over and over again, when NHS failed in the UK over and over again, did the people like, oh shit, I guess the ruling class told us we couldn't have that. Shit, man. I guess we tried. Fuck. Guess I gotta vote for King Jeffries now. Like no one thinks this. No one thinks this. And this is the point. And I'll pass to you because this set me off. Because when we played the O'Connor video, Anna is not gaslighting and tricking us. We are not dumb enough to fall for this shit. That is the funny part. We're the ones who are laughing, smoking a blunt, having fun, exposing these idiots. What they are doing, if you're one of the people from TYT who trickled over here, they are lying to you. Rokana is gaslighting you. AOC has little respect for your intellect, not ours, right? They know that we see through it. This is for Anna's dumb simps and for the dumb people who watch TYT. We are going to tell you this. You guys are too dumb to question our logic. She don't have to say shit that makes sense because she has no respect for your intelligence. You guys understand? I don't come on here and bullshit you guys because I know your ass going to be calling me out. I got a reputation to uphold among the proletariat. She don't give a fuck. All the smart proletarians that see through her shit, she like, piss off, I'm block you. I'm here to farm the dumbasses. I'm here to cultivate and make a career out of the dumb left. So that's the most funny part. She thinks her own supporters are dumb. The same way
she had Vosh on too. They just recently had Vosh on. I saw that. I didn't see it. I just saw the little advertisement that they just had. Vosh on. So that's crazy. And I think the Vanguard covered it too. I think that's where I also saw it. But let's finish this because I do want to play the AOC video one more time when she was with Alex Wagner.
Maybe some who might be open-minded to it would be less open-minded to it if it's already failed through a House vote. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, but at this point, I don't even care. I wish it would have happened so we could just move on. I'm so tired of like the personal branding exercises that are like forced upon us day in, day out by people who can't move on from something that happened literally in like 2019 or 2020.
Why do you think you want to move on?
But let's move on. There's other stuff to get to.
It's exactly what you said because her audience who are crossover, like there's literally, I mean, there could be people that only listen to them, but there might be people that listen to them and listen to Briahna. Or listen to them and listen to Rising. And they're going, yeah, these are some good points that Bree are making. Why are you doing it this way? Why aren't you doing that? And that's why they wanted to go away. Because they could just not address it. Just don't address it. It's because their own audience is saying, what the fuck is going on with y'all? And they need to try to appease their own audience. And I think that's what we're seeing. But let me bring up back up the AOC video.
I'll read two super chats real quick. I'm gonna read
go ahead.
I'll read two super chats and I'll pass it right back to you so we don't get too behind. Thank you for the $5, Kristen Gomez. This segment makes it drastically better because we are the ones laughing at this clown all over again. Exactly. But this time with an immense amount of substance. Absolutely, Kristen Gomez. Anyone who supported First of all, we knew that this moment of reckoning was gonna happen. But this is friend of the show. Thank you for 999. Joe always make great videos. Great opportunity for a fire force to vote video.
Yes.
You got I'm permanently banned on Twitter. You got banned on Twitter? Damn.
What?
I didn't even know that. Damn. Keep going, guys. Thank you.
Well, if you open up a burner, let us know.
Yeah, that's
I'm sure we'll know when we see
one more just came in. Thank you for $20. Intermediary fossil. She's a propagandist for oligarch boss. Absolutely. I'll read the next super chat after this segment. Back to you, CJ.
Yeah, let's just play this again because we got to break down what she does here
Yeah.
because
I'll be right back.
let it play.
Right back.
Go ahead.
It did not go unnoticed, shall we say, on the internet and elsewhere, that you were on the floor having some conversations with Republicans, including Matt Gaetz and Paul Gosar.
I should have set this up more. Let me set this up, because you might be looking at AOC and like, why does she look a little more nervous than she does in another video? How she looks a little fake, like she kind of sitting up there. She understands this show, because understand, Alex replaced the slot for the biggest propaganda on MSNBC. So she's saying, I'm here. This is the high level propaganda. So I got to have my game tight. And that's what she's doing here. And that's why the nervousness, in my opinion. Let's listen now that I set it up correctly. Let's listen to what she says here.
It did not go unnoticed, shall we say, on the internet and elsewhere, that you were on the floor having some conversations with Republicans, including Matt Gaetz and Paul Gosar. Can you enlighten us at all as to what those conversations were like? And is there any hope that you guys work together to get Hakeem Jeffries elected as Speaker of the House?
You hear that question? Can you hear the question? And what are you guys going to do? As if, because remember, this is the left network. And so he's a Democrat and he's black. What are you going to do to get him elected? Now, if that was me, and it's Congressman Compton J, what the fuck are you talking about, Alex Wagner? Hakeem Jeffries is a smidget, if at all, different than anybody on the Republican side. So I don't know what you're talking about. But no, we're not getting no Hakeem Jeffries elected. Instead, we're going to do this. That would have been my response.
Yes, DJ.
But of course, that's not hers. Go ahead.
Yes, to that point, that's such a great point. And after this segment, I think that's a good time to transition. I'm going to show you guys the Lauren Boebert, Sean Hannity. And guys, this clip from last night went hella viral on Twitter. That's why I know CJ not on Twitter as much as
I saw videos. No, I saw videos made of it where I can see them. I think it's a Majority Report video, actually.
Dude,
they talk about it, yes.
The contrast between that and this could not be more night and day. It's embarrassing for AOC. AOC in the squad going around bragging that they're not raising a ruckus, that they're good little Democratic Party operatives. Meanwhile, Lauren Boebert was like, I don't give a fuck what you say, you old fucking shit. I said what I said.
I gotta see this.
It kills me that we had to look to the right to see people do that. Because the right, as we explained many times before, their job is to shift over to window. The progressives, their job is to lose. Pramila Jayapal's job is to lose. AOC's job is to come out here and look like a dumbass. Because their job is to emasculate and embarrass the left. Disenfranchise the left as much as possible. It's not about winning for them. That's their job in the establishment. The more they embarrass the left, the more they emasculate the left, the more the establishment will like them. You got fucking Jennifer Rubin shit posting with AOC. All the blue check liberals love AOC now. Not because she wins, it's because she loses for them. But go ahead, let's continue the video.
The House?
I think in chaos.
I don't know if you know the tale with AOC. This is a question she did not expect, and she's trying to. It comes out as a word salad because she's trying not to answer the question.
And so look at what she said too. Notice the terminology she used in this chaos.
Right.
Remember what we broke down yesterday? And ever since then, that was 2 days ago. You've seen it more, haven't you guys? Everyone repeating chaos. This is chaos. That's the buzzword. You guys see how fast AOC is to repeat that? 22 seconds in, she's repeating the memo language. Go ahead, CJ.
I have this here. I was going to bring it up later, but chaos to describe democracy. Understand what they're doing, people. It's chaos that you have a different opinion. That's what they're saying. Absolutely. It's chaos that these three members are vying for their district. It's chaos that you're holding us hostage. How democracy is supposed to work. You see what they're doing? They are getting people to go to be good lapdogs.
Yes.
To that is what's rewarded, like a dog. Here, you understand. I always say this about animals. People can have a different view. I'll go, they always call dogs more smart because dogs obey. And I'm like, to me, the cat is the smarter one. Because he's saying, fuck you, nigga. I do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it. So, but just I would bring that up to say just American culture believes that the dog is the smarter one because he's doing what he's told at cue. Anyway, chaos to describe democracy is an interesting chaos to who? Who are they talking about and who are they describing to who? It's not us.
Remember, CJ, yeah, I love that you said that right in. They're not talking to us. Remember, most people are not, and people I see boomers get mad at me. I'm not mocking you guys. I'm literally just going by the facts that literally all the people who watch corporate news is born. I'm not saying all boomers, but the boomers who watch this is gonna be like, oh my god, democracy is chaos. The whole corporate news model is about scaring the shit out of boomers. Democracy is chaos. The sin is chaos. So according to them, and this is what happened over the last 100 years to show that we live in a capitalist dictatorship. Accordingly, in the last 100 years, the second in demand in line of the presidency was chosen behind the scenes by party leaders without any input from the people and the representatives. That is not democracy. And they ain't talking about this like, oh my god, it's such a smooth system. We get our leaders chosen. We don't want to cause a ruckus that embarrass our institution to the ordinary people. We don't want to show disorder. That's a good thing. That's a positive thing. But they hate it. They hate the idea that their lineage is going to be ruined. And I've seen some people say, oh my God, Kevin McCarthy deserves this. He worked hard for this. That's supposed to. So for them, it's all about the career. You don't want to ruin someone who worked hard for this position. Let us anoint people, ignore the peasants, and fall in line. That is not a democracy. And the exact opposite, they show us chaos, and that's how they want to breed the American people. That's how they want people to believe. But go ahead, CJ.
Yes, just tossing. I want to make sure we get a lot of comments up. So you're making everyone ride the volume. Sorry. It is a habit. I used to be a DJ at a gentleman's club, so it is a habit when I'm talking or like, because this is how I would have to talk with the mic, and I would lean in because it's a lot of music. So it's a habit, and I haven't broke it yet. My apologies, but let's get back to the video.
I think in chaos, anything is possible, and especially in this era. You know, it is unlikely, but there's always a possibility. I do think that in terms of some of those conversations, I mean, listen, some of us in the House of Representatives are independent in certain ways from our party. And I do believe that in some of those conversations, there are things that are happening on the floor. These machinations are happening on the floor. And sometimes the leadership of your party, in this case, the Republican Party, will be making claims in order to try to twist arms and get people in line. And a lot of times, information and truth is currency. So sometimes to be able to fact check some of the claims that McCarthy is making, whether Democrats are going to defect or not, et cetera, is important in order to keep him honest and to keep people honest in general. And so, you know,
what the fuck is she talking about? What is she
rambling.
even describing? Why can't she is on video, Nick? Why is she answering as a hypothetical? And why is she just not saying, what are you talking about? None of that's happening. I was there. You have me on camera right there. What she's trying to do, Nick, is not give off or not have, come off as a person willing to vote for a Republican speaker out in the open. How is the most left person going to be the first one or one of the first one after Ro Khanna saying that in public? She can't be that. And that's what she was caught off guard. She came on a friendly network. Now, maybe Alex Wagner, she's trying to pull her to the right. So she's asking her and framing the question to put her in this hard place. But that's exactly it. She's on the floor trying to negotiate what can happen, and she's being called out about it on this show, and she don't know what to do. She don't know what to do. Go ahead.
And I want you guys to hang in there with me, because let's think about this. She has a show all the time. I don't see AOC on her show that often, right? This time slot. Ever since Alex Wagner started, I think this is the first time that AOC on now, right? My question, because I'm a very curious motherfucker, you guys. I ask myself these questions all the time. Why now? CJ, why did they bring AOC during prime time right now to talk about this? You guys think the establishment haven't heard of forced to vote before? Sweet summer child.
Nick,
Nigga,
they also
know-
brought on Jamaal Bowman, same show, same one. The Jamaal Bowman video is on the same show, same person. I think it's the same episode. Go ahead.
And
They know
I'm literally spitballing this theory out. But isn't it the fact that they bring these progressive people? They know the left wanted to do what the right wanted to do. They know that there's a grassroots that wanted AOC to vote against Nancy Pelosi. No one can convince me that these people don't know about forced to vote. All of them do. So they was like, all right, we're gonna call AOC and the squad up. We didn't get you guys to speak out against what the Republic. You guys think it's a coincidence they called AOC to do this interview? They wanted to squash that idea among the progressive base immediately and as aggressive as possible. So they brought AOC on, Jamaal Bowman on, to talk about how the Republicans are in chaos. You guys don't think that's psychological? You think that's not a propaganda war they're playing to invite AOC on instead of anyone else? They bring her on prime time, and they probably didn't give her a choice. They was like, AOC, you going on the new Rachel Maddow? You're gonna explain why what Republicans doing is bad. You understand? Like, what's the question? This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna do this for us, and not like AOC fought her. They just like, hell yeah, all right, this is my job. Anyway, that's just a working theory. I think there's a reason why.
The new Rachel Maddow. They don't even call her real name.
Yeah.
The new Rachel Maddow.
She's trying so hard. I be watching clips because I want to see like how the new Rachel Maddow. She's trying so hard to be the new one.
New Rachel Maddow.
It's not working.
The new Rachel Maddow. All right. Let's listen to the rest of this word salad here.
No, I think what was important today was to send the message that we were united behind Hakeem Jeffries as the now minority leader or as leader of the Democrats, and that there would be no defections, that Democrats are here.
Think about what she's saying here. The left most left person is saying, I think we're showing that we're united with Hakeem.
Yes.
The guy that they've been saying for years, Nick. For years. I'm talking about all of white left pseudo media. The TYTs, there's literally, because I did a segment on it, there's literally video from Sam Cedar to Emma of them talking about how Hakeem Jeffries is terrible.
Yep.
And how a future, before he became minority leader, our future one would be terrible. Now, because now nobody said anything about how all of the progressive voted for that same person. And AOC is going along like, what is happening? This is what I mean, Nick. The strategy has gone to the right before our eyes. It has slitten right before our eyes. There's 10 seconds left. Let's listen, and then we can switch to your video.
Are here. We're not going anywhere. And if they want to play ball, we're open to that.
You see, she's trying to make it seem like she's not actively trying to do something Republicans. She's trying to say, we're here. Don't look at the video where you see me negotiating with a bunch of different people. I'm just here in the back. If you guys want to, I'm here. As if that's what she's trying to put off here. But go ahead with the Lauren Boebert.
I'm gonna show you guys this. I'm gonna show you guys the Lauren Boebert video coming up next after this video. Because I think this is a good time to slip this in, because Glenn Greenwald, he had a great show with Sabby last night, and he also talked to Jimmy. And he told a story about his first interview with AOC, which I'm sure that the people who still like AOC probably never seen before. Because if you see this interview, it really exposes that it's not like bad, it's not political miscalculation. Remember the Smurfs? The Surfs dude who was like, well, I think AOC, they just bad at politics. No, motherfucker. They know exactly what they're doing. You gaslighting fuck. You gaslighting pasty motherfucker. They know what they're doing. Because look at what AOC was saying when she was on Glenn Greenwald's show. I saw this clip yesterday, and it's been so long. Like, it's literally jarring to see AOC talk this way. It is literally jarring. This is a quick clip because Glenn, he's been out there like, nigga, I'm about to expose these people. I know what you said to me. And they call Glenn the right winger because he got the nerve to call her out for it. But anyway, let's watch this video. And it's literally unbelievable to hear this in 2023.
Very deep level.
Let me make sure the
Time
volume
left.
is good.
Let me just ask you a couple of what I hope are quick questions. Your opponent, Congressman Crowley, has been pretty upfront about his hopes to replace Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer in the Democratic top wing of the Democratic leadership once they retire, or maybe even before that. For as long as I can remember, the Democratic Party in the House has been led by Nancy Pelosi and Steny Hoyer. So if you are elected, will you agitate for different leaders leading the Democratic Party in the House caucus, or do you think that Pelosi and Hoyer should continue to be in those leadership positions?
No, I think that we need new leadership. I think the idea that we should have the same leadership for more than one generation is probably a mistake in American politics in general. When I think about my opponent trying to take Nancy Pelosi's seat, it's like, why? Like, what has he done? And I think that what we need to really look at and value, it goes back down to the idea of valuing fundraising and equating fundraising with leadership. And they're not the same thing. I think that we really need to start kind of changing our standards for leadership and what we define and what we respect as a party. And it's not to say that, it's not to speak to Pelosi's leadership, but it's to say, what company oftentimes has the same CEO for 20 years, or, it's very rare that happens. And what government has the same president for 20 years. And the idea that the third most powerful seat in the country should just be rotated in and out by the same two people for generations, I think is a mistake in our government. Government is.
So now do you guys see why I was tricked? Glenn talks about this as well, why we were tricked. Look at this interview, and I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I might do a segment on it, dude. Because I was like, dude, it's crazy. Then you watch her old interview with Jimmy Dore. Next level sociopath shit. The AOC talking to Glenn, who was grilling her, talking to Jimmy in front of thousands of people, can just lie and sound convincing. You guys remember when she said it's okay to be a one-term congressperson? Because you don't care about getting negative publicity? So we kick ourselves now. We make fun of each other. We make fun of ourselves. Like, how can we possibly fall for it? And I don't think it was us being completely undisciplined. We can't emphasize enough how much these people committed fraud. Bernie Sanders and AOC committed fraud. And not just us. It's okay to laugh at yourselves. I do it all the time. I make fun of dumb positions I do have. But I think we need to give ourselves some leniency. Because when I look at the old videos, when you hear what they used to say, it makes sense for people who are desperate for hope to fall for this. But with that said, that's why RBN's anger is literally wrapped up to the next degree when it comes to these people. I am more upset at this person than Joe Manchin. Because it takes a next level sociopath to take money from workers and then lie to them the way she has. Bernie said he's raising a political revolution to being a good little boy. Like, this is literally sociopathic shit. Do you guys understand? Any take on this video, and I'm gonna get to the Boebert video. CJ, if you have anything you want to add to that.
No, go ahead, because I'm curious to see this video, because this person also says the Rule, Stephanie Rule and Sean Hannity video literally had the same interview with Boebert. So maybe Boebert went off on Stephanie Rule too. I guess
I saw like a 25-second clip of Rule interviewing Boebert, and it was like, and you gotta see what here with Hannity. This is why I'm showing this. This is the first Sean Hannity segment I've ever did because it's extremely interesting. Like when you see them interview someone they agree with versus they don't agree with. Like I've seen Stephanie Rule interview Democrat Party politicians, extremely professional. Stephanie Rule being extremely unprofessional. Like she was rolling her eyes. She's like, "Oh my God, this like doing shit I never seen her do in an interview. Like it's unprofessional to do this shit, and she was doing it because her job to make a Boebert look bad. Now I saw Sean Hannity, and Sean Hannity does the same thing. Like Sean Hannity interrupts.
And AOC and them is fine with this. They're going along with the same. Think about that. You got both corporate networks owned by the same oligarch, owned by the same ruling class, just to say, giving the same message about this ruckus of not falling in line with what you want everybody to do. And you have AOC and them and Jamaal Bowman going out here co-signing this. Just the shift of the this strategy, Nick, has shifted so much to the right. Yeah, but so we can go to you for
let's
that
look at this
video.
video. It's you can tell, and I did this segment. I'm so glad we did this segment last time where I show you guys a comparison between the 5 and MSNBC, and I'll show you guys how, despite apparently, and we know we don't fall for this, apparently them being ideological rivals, they were all upset about this because they're institutionalists. They don't believe in anything other than the American institutions and American exceptionalism. So even though if you're a Democrat, you should be cheering for this, seeing the institution fail, seeing someone in the ruling class like Kevin McCarthy be embarrassed, is physically painful for them. So even though they disagree, they all want to see the institution thrive, which is why we tell you guys, Democrats and Republicans are the same exact fucking thing. Same fucking thing. Now let's play the video. And I was like, Handy among the populist right after this, he's trending. If you guys are curious, look up the trending tab of Handy. He's getting ate up alive by the right wing. Meanwhile, there are blue check liberals that were like, oh my God, I'm glad Handy stood up to Boebert. The only people praising Handy are the liberals. And then the right wing is tearing them apart.
Happening.
Yeah, dude, it's literally the craziest shit. Anyway, I'll preface this video enough. I think I hyped it up enough. Let's watch it. I know you probably gonna have a lot to say about this. I made it about 2 minutes in, just a head up. And after that, I was like, yo, this is crazy. I want to watch this live.
I think I spelled his name right. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's check this out.
And others fought hard for a motion to vacate, with only 5 Republicans able to trigger that.
Is audio good? Can you hear it, CJ? Audio good?
Yeah, audio's fine.
Okay,
absolutely.
just checking.
You and others fought hard for a motion to vacate, with only 5 Republicans able to trigger that motion. Kevin McCarthy didn't want to give it to you, but he did give it to you in the end. To me, that's kind of an insurance policy. Can I finish?
But he didn't all the way. He did not. Sure.
He gave you what.
Look at how ready, and I'm gonna be very short with these pauses. Look how ready Boebert is to fight this motherfucker. Look at the body language is completely different from AOC on the other show. Completely.
Now
different.
let's compare. I want to compare AOC too. So keep it stopped here. Now, when Alex said some bogus bullshit about Hakeem Jeffries, now did AOC push back? Did she interrupt? Did she get agitated so much? We said, what you said about Hakeem, nigga? None of that. Why is she doing that? Why are we having to point out people like Matt Gaetz, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, people like Lauren Boebert, and this is now I'm coming to understand who Lauren Boebert is. I didn't know who she was before this force of vote.
She was like the right wing. She was a clown. She was a clown.
She's been in the forefront of speaking. So now I'm learning more. So this is my first sort of introduction to her. But go ahead, Nick.
I knew who she was. She's been one of the people. You notice I never cover her. There's some people who are not serious enough for me to cover her, and she was one of them. Like she's like the right wing AOC. She always engaged in super cringe culture war shit, but she also markets herself as an anti-establishment right-wing populist. So she's doing something that AOC never did before. Imagine if AOC, because we even said she would take heat if she forced to vote on Medicare for All. Imagine if she went on primetime in MSNBC. I think the comparison to this is Lawrence O'Donnell. I think they got the same time slot, if I'm not mistaken. So imagine if AOC, because they will hate her for doing this, they bring her on to grow her, but then she has nothing but defiant fuck you energy. Because keep that in mind. Throughout this entire interview, Lauren Boebert has defiant fuck you energy.
Because she knows why she's being brought on this show. She knows who Sean Hannity is. She knows what camp he's in. And she knows he ain't bringing her on to have a nice discussion. He's bringing her on so he can try to make her look like a fool. And she like, oh no, nigga, this shit is not happening. You want these hands? Let's go. So let's go. Let's see what she says here.
Yeah, so I'll pause. I'll just rewind it just a little bit and let's watch it.
You in the end. To me, that's kind of an insurance policy. Can I finish?
But he didn't all the way. He did not. Sure.
He gave you what you asked for. And one of the things that I've been asking people, I'm asking you tonight, who is your final choice for speaker? And if you can't get more than, let's say, 30 votes, will you follow your own advice that you were asking Donald Trump and withdraw?
Can you stop it there? How is this not? Oh, you're muted. How is this not what Anna is saying? How is this not what Anna is saying?
Yes,
aren't they saying the same thing? Aren't they
Remember I
saying
said-
the same thing? He's like, you can't win. You don't have another plan. Isn't that exactly what she said in her video? You don't have a plan. What's your other thing? So what's the problem? Why are we even doing this? That's the whole thing. She's want to get into the substance of what she wants. And I guess she's going to do that. If go ahead, Nick.
Remember what I said 2 days ago on our last live stream? Where I said I was watching these Fox News hosts melt down about this, and they started using the same arguments that the anti-force to vote left was using. It was unbelievable to see this shit, guys.
Is this horseshoe? Is this horseshoe? Can we call this horseshoe?
This is the real horseshoe theory. The progressive NATO left literally sounds just like Fox News right now. When objecting to us, Cenk Uygur is Sean Hannity. Same fucking thing.
Yes.
So let's continue.
Yes.
This is amazing. Like this is insane to watch. This conversation either could have been 2021. But
let's say 30 votes. Will you follow your own advice that you were asking Donald Trump and withdraw?
There are certainly names that are being floated around, and hey, maybe I should nominate President Donald J. Trump tomorrow. But Sean, I did watch your show last night, and I want to set the record straight on this motion.
We're going to pick Jim Jordan
Listen,
one day, Donald's the other day, Trump the next day?
This motion to vacate, because he did not give us this motion to vacate. I'm showing there's a whole consensus of other candidates.
That boy Sean is absolutely seething at his institutions failing. You guys see how mad he is? Let's continue. I just want to point that out.
But I'm trying to understand how you're thinking
This motion
here.
to vacate, Sean, you need to understand that Kevin McCarthy did not give us my hard red line.
He fought
and
for
this is a century-old, no, he did not.
Can you pause it? Now you just tried to tell us that he gave it to you, and now she pushed back and calling your bitch calling you out. I didn't stop cussing so much. Calling you out because Twitter or YouTube says something.
Yeah.
If they calling you out, and now you say, well, he tried. That's not what happened. You see how he just backpedaled on a propagandist lie he just told 30 seconds before this.
Now, we are a leftist channel, so I'm framing this whole conversation around force to vote. I'll play the last 10 seconds again. Imagine if Lawrence O'Donnell or any of these MSNBC clowns got mad at AOC. They're like, oh my God, you cannot vote for Pelosi. And AOC was like, yeah, she didn't give us our ask. She didn't give us healthcare in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Sorry, my bad, CJ. But in healthcare in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, we're trying, YouTube. We're trying.
You see how defiant she is? When Sean was pushing back and she said, who the fuck? I am a conservative and I am doing a conservative thing. Do you understand me? I'll play this part again. We keep playing. Look at how defiant she is. I really wish the squad would have been like, no, fuck.
And she was like, what? I'll nominate Donald Trump. What is he going to say?
Imagine AOC was like, yo, you nominate Bernie Sanders. Like, this is shit we want to hear. Anyway, let's continue. This part is so good because AOC could have easily fired back on any criticism she got for that potential vote, right? Well, let's check this out.
A whole consensus of other candidates.
But I'm trying to understand how you're thinking
This motion
here.
to vacate, Sean, you need to understand that Kevin McCarthy did not give us my hard red line.
He fought
and
for
this
it.
is a century-old, no, he did not.
No, I know that he made the
promise. That was written by Thomas Jefferson.
I know he made.
So Sean Hannity came out hot, and you see how fast Boberg got him on the back foot? Unbelievable.
Because you see what's happening. This is what happens on the left. It just happened on the right. She's outwriting her on his own show.
Yes.
His own show. So that's why he has to go, I can't go centrist in front of my own audience. So he's having to kind of simmer down. She is clearly showing she's further right to me. She just said, why don't I just nominate Donald Trump?
And you
Why
know
don't
she
we
had
have anybody on the left that would do this? Go ahead, Nick. Sorry.
And you know that was planned by her. And Sean Hannity knew that was a devastating line. That's why he cuts her off right there. Because he knows his audience loves Trump. And his audience goes, oh, shit. Yeah, let's do Trump then. Look, I'll play that part again. Look how desperate Hannity is to cut her off at that point. I'm going to go back a little bit. I'm going to let it play a little bit so you guys can watch it. But I want you guys to see that part again and how panicked Sean Hannity is when she says that.
You were asking Donald Trump and withdraw.
There are certainly names that are being floated around, and hey, maybe I should nominate President Donald J. Trump tomorrow. But Sean, I did watch your show last night, and I want to set the record straight on this motion.
We're going to pick Jim Jordan one day, Donald's the other day, Trump the next day?
This motion to vacate, because he did not give us this motion to vacate. I'm showing there's a whole consensus of other candidates.
But I'm trying to understand how you're thinking
here. This motion to vacate, Sean, you need to understand that Kevin McCarthy did not give us my hard red line.
He fought for it.
And this is a century-old, no, he did not.
No, I know that he made the promise.
That was written by Thomas Jefferson.
I know he made the promise
since
because
1837 with 5 members, Sean, with 5 members. Not.
Imagine we had AOC just spitting fire. Like what she's doing right now is right-wing bullshit, but she's bringing the heat, like on behalf of the right. So imagine if we had AOC on MSNBC and they're pushing back. Like, oh my God, you be on. And then AOC not giving a fuck, because Lauren Boebert right here don't give a fuck what Sean Hannity is saying.
Yeah, or his audience or nothing.
If you notice, she don't give a single fuck about anything he says. She has a message and she's gonna deliver it. Imagine if, despite any pushback that AOC got, AOC was like, man, we in a pandemic without any health care. The Democratic Party that say they believe that health care is a human right, and you don't want to force a vote on that. We should see, like, not listen to anything the anchor says. Just go off.
That's going. And she could add, and Nancy, she could look at the screen. Nancy Pelosi, are you going to vote against Medicare for all in a pandemic as our Speaker of the House? The person who's in charge of representing the people, she's not going to vote for health care for babies? You mean to tell me we can't have a person doing that?
Imagine how fast they would change. If public opinion was against them, like me and the boomers, imagine how quickly they would change that with this aggressive stance that Boebert's taking. But
Anna's trying to tell us there's no value in that. That's what Anna's telling us. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I'm glad you said it. I'm about bringing that up. That shows the lack of revolutionary imagination that comes from the professional managerial class. Guys, I see this shit in my head, dude. Like when this shit, I was like, dude, I could imagine all the possibilities. I had all these things. Imagine the rhetorical position we'd be in. Nope. There's no revolutionary imagination from Anna Kasparian in the boutique left. So they just say, well, the vote will just fail. Nothing else positive came from that. Nigga, you guys telling me that AOC on MSNBC, pick any anchor. Hell, better if it's Rachel Maddow. Pick a big name. Imagine if AOC destroyed Rachel Maddow on air the way that Boebert just did Hannity. That clip will be viral to this day. Nigga, 5 years later, we will reference this damn clip. Well, actually, 2 years later, we will reference that clip. Like, you remember that time AOC destroyed Maddow? But nope, that's the right.
We would still be using her. It would be a meme. We would turn into a meme. She would be an icon as far as social media memes would be if she did something like that. Like if there was a left version. Understand, a left version is fighting for things that the majority of people want. So it would be a completely different reaction than what some of these people are getting. But go ahead, we can continue.
So I'll let it play a little bit more. Like there's so much to say on this, and then we got a few more things to share.
That was written by Thomas Jefferson.
I know he made the promise
since
because
1837 with 5 members, Sean, with 5 members, not one member to offer the motion to vacate.
So my question is this:
Nancy Pelosi's.
You haven't answered my question.
That's how you know
she's destroying them because they love history. And she said she just brought up one of their historic icons and said, nigga, fuck with that. Nigga, she has destroying him.
Boebert is literally dismantling this man. Why do you guys think I was wrong a little bit? But you guys see how Sean Hannity is desperate to interrupt her at every second? He's like, bro, if I let her spit this fire, I'm losing. I'm going to lose. The few amount of people I got. This is unbelievable. He has to interrupt her because she is doing everything that that will work on the right. So this doesn't work on us. But imagine if you use AOC and you know everything. They were actually effective leftist leaders. They knew all the arguments they're going to bring to the table, and they just swat it down effortlessly. We can only imagine, right? But let's watch some more. This is an unbelievable clip.
Yeah,
I stopped watching around 2 minutes, so after 2 minutes, I'm going blind. So let's check this out.
So if you have,
you cannot
yesterday you supported Jordan. Today you're supporting Donald.
That's not the way this works. We need a check and a balance on the third in line.
Who is your fight? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want to be speaking?
Doesn't want to talk substance at all. Doesn't want to talk substance at all because the substance talk is going to prove he's the centrist in this debate.
She literally said that she wants checks and balances. How's that a bad thing? How are you going to spin that as a bad thing? he can't. So he got to stop her. Like Sean Hannity is terrified of allowing Lauren Boebert to speak. And CJ, I know you don't know that much about her, but I do. And anyone who does, she was literally considered one of the dumbest people in Congress, literally Margie Taylor Greene level. Like, you know how the right make fun of AOC? Like, the right make fun of AOC for her intelligence? That's the same way the left did for Boebert. Like, she literally was the right-wing AOC. Everyone considered to be dumb, have no intellectual, because she was just a culture warrior. So let's think about this. Look, Sean Hannity brought this dumbass on, which I do think she's a dumbass, and she came on and dismantled him to the point where he literally can't let her speak. He interrupting every sentence because every sentence by Boebert is a constructive body blow to Sean because she knew Sean was going to go after her. My question for AOC people, because it's not me praising Boebert, why didn't we get a left version of this where you know what they're going to say, you know the text they're going to use, but you make them look so dumb? And I'm going to show you some few examples I pulled from right-wing Twitter. I saw a lot of tweets that I only got like a few receipts, but literally I'm asking you, go on Twitter, look at Hannity, and look at all the people on the right wing who's like, fuck Sean Hannity now. Like, it's literally unbelievable. We could have had this if we had a left that was serious about change, right? Let's continue.
We need to come together.
Who do you want? I'm asking who you want.
What does it look like, life after Kevin? We need to find somebody who can actually unify the Republican Party. I have offered
I would like to know.
Let some other folks start offering
there
other
are 203 people and you have 20. I respect the 20 of you. I respect all of you. But I'm asking you, based on your own words,
you as well.
Who is your final? Let's have a final answer. Who do you want? Who will you only support to be Speaker? It's not that hard.
I am willing to have conversations with the Republican conference to come up with a consensus candidate. We are offering people right now. It doesn't have to be a member of the Freedom Caucus. It doesn't even have to be a solid conservative. By the way, but we have
more than
to have
half
those
the Freedom
tools
Caucus
in
supports McCarthy. So you
you
don't even have a name.
Because
and we're now going into
so now he's trying to go back into making her seem silly because you don't have a name. This is exactly what Sam Cedar and Anna Kasparia. And so what are you gonna do? Huh? You already know 300. You're gonna lose by 300 votes, and then what? Huh? It's the same sort of logic that he's pushing back. And he thought he was trying to play nice. And then she played nice, and now he's trying to go back in an attack. Or I don't know if this is about to go back up to another attack, but I guess you can play it, Nick, and see what happens there.
When you are threatened by committee chairman to not be placed by steering mitter.
Right, let me ask a final question. If your final,
you see how she just skips over the
He said, let me ask a final. Literally the last 30 seconds has been Sean Hannity cutting her off, interrupting, and then as Boebert is speaking, he's like, all right, final question. He knows he's getting dismantled. You don't do this if you think you're in the right.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you know someone is fucking it up, is making a fool of themselves, you let them hang themselves. He is not letting her hang herself because he knows what she is saying is appealing to his base, to her base. So what he's doing here is an extreme tell. And by the way, he's acting the same way. If anything, probably worse than Stephanie Ruhle. And caveat, I only watched like 30 seconds of that. But from what I've seen, Stephanie Ruhle let Lauren Boebert speak more than Hannity did.
Yeah.
We watched. I watched another 30 seconds. Then I'll move on to the next part.
Yeah, we can go to the next.
On a committee, and then Kevin McCarthy affirms that. That's a scary place to be. We are here to legislate. We are here to get the country back on track. And when you have people making threats like that, it's difficult to make that decision. But we are going to get there. I am fine doing this. We're in day 2. It's okay. The government isn't spending money, sending it to Ukraine. So the American taxpayers are certainly winning.
You hear what you said? Let me play that part again.
Yes.
We are going to get there. I am fine doing this. We're in day 2. It's okay. The government isn't spending money, sending it to Ukraine. So the American taxpayers are certainly winning.
Politically, Congresswoman, you and I agree on most things. We don't disagree on many things.
Yes, we do, Sean.
And I do have respect for you.
And I believe that history will show that I'm on the right side of this, Sean.
Well, you can believe you're in your position, but I'm using your words. You said to President Trump, you said, we're very clear. He doesn't have 218. So you need to ask him to withdraw. If by Friday, you and your group of 20 don't have a name with 30 votes, is it time for you to withdraw? And if not, why do you support a double standard? Last question.
Kevin McCarthy does not have 218 votes. Kevin McCarthy
and you
will not be
you
speaker.
have 20.
He lasted about 2 seconds before interrupting again, but let's continue.
Because it's not about that.
If by Friday
when we
you don't
get
have
this right,
30,
I will not, Sean. I will not withdraw. Our asks were not petty of Kevin McCarthy. They were not self-serving. We simply were asking for commitments on what the American people want to see. They want to see a vote on term limits, a vote on the Texas border plan to secure the southern border. And for crying out loud, Sean, we asked for a vote on a budget that actually balances. Imagine a Congress that stops spending money that we don't have. We are going to get this right, and we are going to get the right speaker, Sean.
If you only have 30, to be clear, you will not withdraw.
30 is going to be a beautiful number to reach.
But you're telling Kevin McCarthy and the 203 people that support him to withdraw because they don't have 218. That's what you're saying.
No, that's how you're framing it.
Tonight's motion to adjourn that Kevin McCarthy and his supporters are already getting voter fatigue. And
I asked you a simple question, Congresswoman. I feel like I'm getting a liberal.
I'm not going to support Kevin McCarthy, Sean.
Oh, are you serious? Are you? I'll tell you, I'm going blunt at this point.
That's what he just tried to use. That's what he just used, Nick. That's what he just used.
Hold up.
That's what he just used.
Oh wait. I'll play
because that's in their world. That's a hit. That's he's throwing bombs by calling her a liberal. Like you're not even answering. So he's trying to frame her that way outside of the policy. I'm gonna talk over your policy so my audience can not hear the policy because you're right on that, and then I'm just gonna call you a liberal, and then they're gonna believe me on that. That's all.
I'm telling you,
no policy.
I have people on Twitter that troll me, that call me grifter, all this bullshit, right? I always laugh at it. I see people troll chat every once in a while, laugh at it. If you want me to throw hands on you, call me a liberal. If you really want me to throw hands, you really want to trigger me, call me a liberal. And that's what he did here. And this is a sign of desperation because he knows he's getting cooked. Lauren Boebert is using all the right phrases to win his audience over. So this is the last ditch desperation. Well, I just got cooked. So I'm going to label her as a liberal. So anyone who may not have been paying attention that much to this conversation, like, oh, well, she's a liberal now. Right? Now, what the funniest thing is, think about the segments that we did 2 days ago. God damn, I wish I would show you MSNBC. Dude, the funniest thing is Sean Hannity calls her a liberal. But CJ, who does Sean Hannity sound like right now?
A liberal to me.
Exactly.
like Anna.
And liberals.
Yes.
Boom. 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 I didn't see this part. Boom. This is unbelievable gaslighting. He calls her a liberal, despite him repeating the talking points you saw more than Joe. Unbelievable. I'll play a part again and we wrap up. I think that's a good explanation part on this segment.
Getting voter fatigue. And
I asked you a simple question, Congresswoman. I feel like I'm getting a liberal.
I'm not going to support Kevin
liberal.
McCarthy, Sean.
And guys,
what if AOC said that? They was kept asking her, "What are you gonna do?" And this was 2020 or whenever it was. I am not going to support Nancy Pelosi, Rachel.
Look at this.
We don't have that, Nick. We don't have that.
Now, I didn't save a ton of receipts because there's so many of them. I'm like, I don't want to put all of them on my document here. But look at it. There's 9,000 likes. And I'm going to go through the comments. You can see that most people agree. And I hope you guys do your search as well. When I saw this clip, I was wondering, because I don't know the right-wing audiences that well. I was like, wonder how they react to this. Because I was like blown away when I first saw it. I was like, I looked. He's trending. She's trending. And it's just a bunch of conservatives destroying Hannity. And remember how I showed you guys the 5? Yes, on 2 days ago, where I show you how Fox News agreed with MSNBC on this. Right wingers are not happy about those pundits. Both of them did not look bad. They were looking at Sean Hannity, the 5, like, nigga, y'all sound pretty swampy.
So the same thing is happening. So the same thing on the right where the corporate people aren't exactly saying all the stuff that the right wants to hear. They're saying some bullshit, and you hear it in the comments the same way about the strike breaking. They're trying to act like nobody cares when they're still getting lambasted about that. So it's the same thing that's happening on the right and the left, where you have media on the right and the left trying to portray like everything is hunky-dory and the way that they want to do it is the right way. And all the people, like the masses, the rake and file people are like, nah. So very interesting. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read a tweet for the people who are only listening, because that's what I do most of the time. I don't watch a lot. But this is from Emerald Robinson, and you see that she's used to work for Newsmax, and now she's OANN. I forgot what that one news network. I forgot what that stands for.
Is that QAnon? Is that what QAnon is? Is that QAnon? Or no? I don't know. I don't know how it goes. Anyway,
but Emerald says it's not just the GOP leadership has failed. Almost the entire GOP pundit class has failed. Just look at all the grifters who pretend to speak for the GOP base who are backing Kevin McCarthy. Hannity, Levin, Ingram, Kelmead, Shapiro, and Huckabee.
They call out Levin? They call out Levin?
Everybody, bro. Look, and once again, just look at the comments. It's a bunch of right-wingers. He said, look at Brian Kilmeade. We did a segment on him last stream, showing you how he sounds just like Morning Joe. And they are going after him, too. He said his fraudulent slip speaks volumes. They're all in for the swamp. And I was looking at right-wing Twitter. Dude, there was eating Hannity alive. Here's the search. Let's see if I can find. I don't know if I can find any. Come on, algorithm all fucked. Look, this guy, 19,000 likes. He says Hannity is insufferable. And then he put the flames next when Boebert said, I will not withdraw. Meaning the people on the right that see this shit are losing their shit for Lauren Boebert. The same thing that we would be doing if AOC called MSNBC.
Yeah.
The right is enjoying it.
You would see Nick and CJ tweeting stuff like that with a quote with AOC with flames, saying shit like this. But they're trying to act like there would be some sort of backlash. A backlash from who?
From who?
The ruling class representatives on TV? Or the rank and file people? You see who Anna cares about? They're talking about the backlash in Sam Cedar too. The backlash will be fierce from who? Establishment types? Who cares about them?
DJ, these same people are like, oh my God, force the vote, destroy left unity. Left unity destroyed. There's so much leftist infighting. Nigga, if they force the vote, there will be no leftist infighting. Everyone on the left like, oh my God, AOC and Bernie calling out MSNBC and the shit. Nigga, we all would be like, we all will be having their back. That will make Anna Kasparian what they say makes no sense. So if they force the vote, will you abandon them? So if you wouldn't abandon them, why do you think other people would abandon them? So if they did force a vote, you would never seen this TYT Jimmy beef escalate. You would never seen RBN beefing with the majority report. We would have been all on the same side. We would be like, oh my God, yes, call these motherfuckers out for calling out AOC for doing the right thing. That is not what's happening. That's not what happened. Well, that's not what happened because they didn't do it. You got to see how shallow their logic is. And look, I'm just scrolling down. Another one. This is not even a viral one. Just showing you what the average person thinks. So done with Hannity. Nigga, there are conservatives that are canceling Hannity for this.
Wow.
And this guy, the bad Hannity, reared his ugly head last night. So, Anna Kasparian, if you had Lawrence O'Donnell advocate against Medicare for all in the middle of a pandemic on live TV, you think that AOC will lose the people? And remember, the right is asking for bullshit. They're not asking for stuff that's popular. Nigga, if AOC did that on MSNBC, I'm sure there'll probably be right-wingers like, man, I didn't know AOC had this fire in her. They had no respect. Even
finally, a Democrat with some fight. That's what the conservatives would be saying because they have fighters on their side already. It would be like, finally, a Democrat with some fight. Let me show you a couple of tweets because I had some tweets
just
too.
one more receipt. Just real quick, CJ.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
After this, I'll pass to you. After this, because you see Sean Hannity mention Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he came out yesterday on a day off. Was like, hey guys, everyone calm down. Let's vote for Kevin McCarthy. Exposing Trump as the bootlicking establishment coward that I've been calling out for quite some time. That's why I don't understand MAGA communism. MAGA is not anti-establishment, you fucking children. Trump is an establishment goon who wanted to be liked by the elites. So he ran for president. You guys understand? That's why. He's not anti-establishment. So amidst this chaos, Trump was like, hey guys, I know you guys say you populist, I know you represent the people, but hey, man, I'm the establishment now. They won't fall in line. And you guys see how Lauren Boebert was like, no, fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. Big energy that we need on the left. So now, you seeing people on the right. Even this, I'm surprised that Lou Dobbs said this.
What?
Because this guy, this neocon Ron, he's a Democrat operative neocon guy, but he said nobody in the media has been more loyal than Trump than Lou for long. Like, so he said, and that is true. Lou is one of the most loyal Trump motherfuckers there is. And this guy, he went after Trump for that. He said Trump dismisses the 20 patriots challenging Rhino McCarthy.
What?
Says McCarthy would do good job and tells them effectively to do what the swamp and corporate globalists in order. Trump backs rhinos in the swamp. So Lou Dobbs was like, oh my God, Trump, you became a swamp monster. You backing. So you guys see how someone who's even influential is taking heat for standing with the establishment. But Anna thinks that Nancy Pelosi would have got out here unscathed. Even Trump bootlickers called him out for that. Everyone on the right is melting down over the establishment Republicans who betrayed their base. All the serious ones. Meanwhile, the liberals are like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing for America, our institutions. And the Fox News hosts, they're on the same board. They are the same American exceptionalist institutionalists. So they sound exactly the same. Trump is exactly the same. Where they're like, we got to uphold the institution. We're not really fighting the globalists. I don't know why Trump supporters didn't realize that when they hired Goldman Sachs officials for their cabinet, like Stephen Mnuchin. He hired John fucking Bolton, and then Trump people still thought he was draining the swamp. But hey, if you guys are behind, 7-8 years behind, now I hope you guys realize that Trump is always been
7-8 years.
But anyway, CJ, I passed to you. That's my last receipt.
Yeah, let me just show a couple of tweets. I'm sure you might have seen that because one of these is Jenks, and then we can go to the Rokana video really quick because we still got several videos to show. But anyway, let me show you. Here is Cenk today, 5 hours ago, and here is what he says: the forced to vote children amuse me. They think if you force a vote, you automatically win it. Nobody's saying that. You see how they got to keep acting like what we're saying is what we're saying. I originally supported the idea because progressives should use their leverage, but then found out they had no plan. You see what he's doing exactly with Sean? There's no plan, so that's why I can't support it. That's why I have to vote for a greedy, corrupt person like Nancy. But then I found out that there was no plan for who would be speaker next or how to win the vote. Children.
I'm gonna say, look at how he uses CIA tactics, CJ. Look how he's using all of them right now. He advocating for caution, saying that we gotta go through the proper channels. We gotta make sure we have a super detailed plan. Unless we have a super detailed plan, don't do it. These people got this shit memorized.
Unless you have a super detailed plan for ending slavery, keep them niggas locked up.
Janeway, what are your plan?
That's the logic. That's the logic. As long as you don't have a plan to escape oppression, what if the plan is just escape oppression? I'll figure the rest out. You get what I'm just trying to prove the point that this is a CIA tactic of you got to have plans. You got to have this. You got to have this before you go. Let's go to the next text here. Oh, here is mine. Because this is the point that I was making. Let's take the time to think where we're at with the progressive Democrat / Justice Democrat strategy. Rokana and AOC are talking and willing to negotiate voting for a Republican speaker. Sit with that for a moment. Let it sizzle in your spirit. The point being, this has shifted so far to the right. It's incredible. Let's go to it. Here is Briahna Joy Gray. It is wild to be listening mainstream coverage of how Republicans are forcing a vote and how the far right is getting major concessions. because Republicans can afford to lose 4 votes when the left was patronized relentlessly for pointing out the squad could do the same thing. Just amazing. So a couple more tweets I just wanted to cover. Here is Jimmy. Remember when they revealed they are never going to fight for you, and this is recently a force to vote, and he just brought up an old force. It says, yes, we can. With a slim dim majority in the next Congress, anything can be possible. It will literally take 5 courageous progressive members to get concessions on progressive policies, and she never did that. That is Ilhan Omar.
She's committing fraud, and this is. I love the way Glenn put it, because we were talking about this when I was on System Update. They committing fraud. They are taking money from working class people. She sent that tweet on Christmas Eve, expecting you to donate after seeing that. And then she decided not to do that. How is that anything other than fraud on the highest level?
And then he points out a Cenk tweet here. Let's go to the Cenk's tweet first. This is January 2021. For all the people pushing fraud squad, do you understand that if all 10 Justice Democrats had voted present, GOP leader would be speaker right now? That is just okay. What would that have accomplished? Easy being destructive. You have to come up with a plan for being constructed. You see the proper channels argument, the CIA infiltration tactics, and then Jimmy says,
too, by the way,
Jimmy said, reminder that the right gets fighters and the left gets gaslighters for the establishment.
Yeah.
And then here's another. Go ahead.
Aaron is filling in for Jimmy, and he's doing a great job. But man, it's kind of disappointing that we don't get Jimmy at this moment, right? Like, man, imagine the victory lap he's ready to give.
But when he comes back, I'm sure he'll have to do something.
Yeah.
But this is Bree shouting out Rome. Rome says, yeah, they could have saved damn near 500,000 lives if we forced a vote on Medicare for all, but that would mean Jimmy Dore, Briahna, and them was right. And I'll rather watch my family and friends die before I admit that. That's essentially what Sam Seder, the Ryan Grahams are talking about. And then Briahna says, basically the subject of my radar today on the Hill, you won't want to miss it. And Bree sent it to us. We're going to watch it a little bit later.
I see it. That's a real kind of one, isn't it? Or a radar. No, I ain't seen the radar yet.
You're right. That's something different. And here's another one from Bree. It is interesting to think that had the squad members forced a vote, they'd be giving speeches nominating different progressives and using that opportunity to speak to public about popular progressive policies and the public and the political corruption that keeps Congress from acting. And Anna trying to act like there's no value in doing this strategy. That is what she's trying to tell us. And here goes non-voting felon. This should be embarrassing to the squad to watch force the vote work for right-wingers, and they were too scared to try, and that blew up 1,600 likes and counting. I think I might have 1 or 2 more here, and I do want to make sure. Here is Vanguard, and somebody sent this to me saying even Vanguard is saying this was right from Jimmy. They've had some critiques recently, but this is the Vanguard. Whatever you think of them, Jimmy Dore, Briahna Joy Gray, Kyle Kalinske, and Crystal Ball, because they were on the force the vote side, were all correct in their advocacy for House progressives to force the vote. In 2021, it was asking the bare minimum of them to vote against Pelosi, demand concessions in exchange for their vote. And that is the Vanguard. I think, there is one more right here. Bree says the main argument from the establishment left media against force the vote was that the corporate media would be mean to the squad. Therefore, it wasn't worth fighting for anything. So here we are. And she quote tweets this. But imagine there was a progressive cause. Would a faction of the left currently in Congress be willing to brave the negative PR, etc., to extract concessions from Democratic leadership? Doubtless, no. The factional brinksmanship is not analogous on the Dem side. for the better or worse. He's saying it's not comparable, and she's calling that bullshit out. So those are just some of the tweets.
Can I show you some tweets? I'm gonna show you a tweet
go
I
ahead,
saw
go
as
ahead.
well. This because I'm showing you guys the neoliberals that are cheering the fact that the squad did not do this. They are aware. They knew what force the vote was. 100%. They 100% knew. Look at this tweet. I see Briahna Wu on. I think she was like part of the Biden campaign. Literally one of the biggest shit livs you'll see on the site. Easily. She tweets like pro-Democrat propaganda all the time. And look at what she had to say. Look at who the squad is winning over with their actions. Watching this Kevin McCarthy thing, I'm so glad that progressives, I am one, didn't listen to the Jimmy Dores and the Jackal Hinkles of our party. They wanted to do this. Sabotage Pelosi being voted in as speaker over a symbolic medical fraud vote that will fail. You guys see the bedfellows that the progressives are making? The bedfellows that Anna Kasparian is making? And you see how they always got to put it back to Jimmy Dore derangement. Hell, they even bring up Jackson Hinkle because they know how controversial Hinkle is on Twitter. It's all about personality. So this is why we shouldn't support it, because the personalities, these are the people who are yes queening AOC. These are the people that are currently doing that. I want to show you someone else here as well. The people, and I'll show you guys, AOC is among the most unpopular politicians in the country right now. You want to see the kind of people who likes AOC's tweets now? People like Jennifer Rubin.
Oh God, that's terrible. You starting off terrible, Nick. Jennifer Rubin is absolute human garbage. Go ahead.
Garbage. And once again, for people who are overly online, like I am, who remember the primary, Jennifer Rubin hated every single Bernie crowd, even the people who was weak. Like she would think like people like back then, she would call people like Pramila Jayapal infiltrators. Like she was so like she is so extreme. Like she was so anti-Bernie. But look how things changed. She went from absolutely having disdain. If you guys don't know, I saw one person ask who Jennifer Rubin is. Jennifer Rubin was a George W. Bush Jr. supporter who got a job at the Washington Post. And then when Trump took over, she all of a sudden got Trump derangement syndrome. And then it's all of a sudden the Republican Party is bad. Not during the Patriot Act, not during the invasion of Iraq, Afghanistan, not during them cutting Social Security. It wasn't bad then. It was when Trump took office. And then Jennifer Rubin rebranded herself as an anti-Trump Republican. And then immediately the Democratic Party establishment fell in line with her. Now she's a big celebrity for the Democratic Party.
She's totally Lincoln Project. She's a Lincoln Project.
Yeah, she's a Lincoln Project kind of person.
That
so
era,
that's who she is. And because she's a right winger who was part of the Democratic Party, she hated Bernie. She said so many anti-Semitic. I mean, I'm talking about not even like critiques of Bernie. She was like just straight up insulting him and his followers. She went from that to now saying stuff like "well played" to AOC's tweets, piling up to them. Do you guys see who they replaced their base with? Now she's one of the most unpopular, more unpopular than Hillary Clinton, because she lost the real left. Independents are against her. Obviously, the right wing will dislike her.
Yeah.
The only people that like her are liberal Y moms, never Trump supporters like Jennifer Rubin. You guys see
Let
that?
me show you this quick.
Yeah,
This is from Case Study. Got to hear this comment on it.
I actually had this in my notes. I'm glad he pulled this up.
Yeah, perfect.
This is a good one.
I'm sure we have a couple of videos that overlap because there's a couple of Case Study curated videos we want to play. This one's only a minute, not even a minute. So let's listen to this one.
Well, the reality for Kevin McCarthy is Pelosi's nightmare back from 2019, as I'm sure you'll remember. She was, of course, elected as House Speaker when Democrats took back control, but progressives, newly elected progressives,
I think the video, there you go.
well, the reality for Kevin McCarthy is Pelosi's nightmare back from 2019, as I'm sure you'll remember. She was, of course, elected as House Speaker when Democrats took back control, but progressives, newly elected progressives, led by folks like Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, were openly skeptical of Pelosi's leadership, whether she should be Speaker at that time, whether it was time for generational change, and whether they would vote against her. AOC actually voted for her at that time time, and Republicans booed her on the House floor for doing so. But all of this sort of shows that while Pelosi was elected Speaker at a time of these sort of left-wing rebels, that so-called squad never ended up being the threat to the Democratic Party that these right-wing rebels are ending up being to McCarthy and the larger Republican Party. And we're seeing that play out in real time yesterday with this Speaker fight, and we're going to see this continue as they try to govern through the 118th Congress. Well, the reality
totally got called out by this person. And there's one more short video from Case Study, and it's the video from Jamaal Bowman up here. And then
can I play?
Go ahead. Do what you do.
Because
do what you do.
Yesterday I was telling you last stream. I was telling you guys how even Fox News was laughing at the squad. I'm glad you played that because that's an example of some MSNBC, CNN acolyte laughing at them. But this is the clip from Brian Kilmeade that we played yesterday. But we played his live stream, but we didn't get to it. We stopped the clip because this is the part I was telling you guys about, but I didn't get to it. Where he's one of the people that the right is calling out as well for supporting swamp monsters. Let's listen to this part. You see how the corporate media. I'm gonna just check the audio real quick. The corporate media is like, man, even we're surprised how much the squad are fucking sellout pussies. Like so let me play this part and I'll pass right back to you. Just because I think this relates to the video you just played.
Front of the country.
Exactly. Republicans need to unite. The Democrats never seem to have this problem. It's the Republicans that can't ever get together.
Right.
And as the New York Post said, they've been out of office for 4 years or out of the majority for 4 years. And this is how they want to begin it, divided.
Can I just build on what you just said? It reminds me of 2 years ago when Nancy Pelosi, with a slight majority, had to deal with the left wing of her party. They clearly disagree with Nancy Pelosi. So to their credit, the squad is totally different on a different place than the speaker. So you knew they got to get behind closed doors and work it out. All they say is he's a swamp creature or he didn't do this.
So that's a short clip. You see how this is Kilmeade melting down because the Republicans are doing this. So this is literally the only time I ever seen him praise the squad. Like, oh my God, you see how the squad fell in line with the Democrats, even though they had all these problems with Nancy Pelosi? And look at the event that they referenced. Guys, are you telling me that the entire mainstream establishment wasn't aware of Forced to Vote? Nigga, this is Fox News and he referenced it. It's super short.
They all knew. They all knew. They all knew. Fox News is referencing it.
Yeah, I'll play it again just because it's short. It's very short. So
to their credit, the squad reminds me of 2 years ago when Nancy Pelosi, with a slight majority, had to deal with the left wing of her party. They clearly disagree with Nancy Pelosi. So to their credit, the squad is totally different on a different place than the speaker.
It's just laughable. That's so Anna and Jake doing some horseshoe stuff with this guy. That's what's happening. Nick, like, what's happening here? That's amazing. How are y'all saying the same shit? How is that possible? So yeah, I can go to this video. So let's play just a little bit of this. This, like I said, same show. Alex Wagner. And I don't know why it keeps reading.
Yeah, and once again, you brought this up at the time, but remember when I asked you guys that question, why they bring AOC on? Look what else they brought. You gotta tell me they brought AOC. Maybe there's separate days, but I have my eye on Alex. I don't watch all of them, but I never see her have like progressive people on. Like, never. Ever. Like she usually have Trump derangement people on. Like she tried to do the same thing that Rachel Maddow does. Like that's why I can't really watch her because like whenever you see her show, it's nothing but January 6th shit. Nothing but Trump shit because she's trying to be the next Rachel Maddow. Never seen her have progressives on ever before in her new show. Now this vote for the House leader happens, and she has AOC and Jamaal Bowman back to back. You guys think that's a coincidence? I don't got hard evidence for that, but they definitely send these people out to show how the populist left shut the fuck up and fell in line. Almost to demasculate and embarrass the left. Anyway, go ahead, CJ. This is
like a Coon Award, and they're out here accepting the Coon Award as if it's a great award.
What a night! You were there. What just happened on the floor, and how should we read the voting that took place?
Well, first of all, welcome to my world. This is my second term, and this is how I'm beginning my second term, which is actually better than the first term, which began with an insurrection. So I guess we're making...
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
He's hitting
20
there all the
seconds in,
points.
and I already want to pass out. I didn't see this. I didn't see this. I didn't continue, but I'm
God. It
less
is
than 30
terrible.
seconds, I'm already about to tap
He
out.
hits all the points. He hits all the establishment's points to say, look, I'm a good coon. Give me kudos. I'm here saying everything y'all want me to say. That's literally what this interview is.
CJ in chat, feel free to disagree with me, but Jamaal is definitely the worst of them all.
Yeah,
like,
he's
maybe
up
like
there.
he's out all the squad members. He's the one who sold out the most aggressively and is the most cringe. Like without
on my award show for the Progressive, he won the biggest sellout.
Oh,
he did win that award. So yeah.
Leave a comment if you guys have. Leave a comment if you guys disagree. Give me your. I'm curious. I'm looking at the chat now. Who's the biggest sellout of them all? I'll pick Jamaal Bowman if you force me to pick one. But go ahead.
It's chaos. It's dysfunction.
Chaos and dysfunction. Democracy is chaos and dysfunction. You having a different of opinion that has been given to you. How does that not sound like a coon? Chaos and dysfunction. It's field niggas acting up, and he's like, let's get in order. I want to slap this. This MO.
But look, he used the word. CJ, I predicted it. Once again, another prediction. I told you guys, you're going to see everyone use this word chaos. That's the memo. Every single segment I have seen on this story, the word chaos was used. You guys think that's not? You guys think that's an accident? Propaganda is about repetition. They drill it to the
absolutely
over and over and over and over again. And what did that tell you? That Jamaal Bowman AOC is repeating that instead of doing what Lauren Boebert is doing before the.
You know what they're doing
quite
to the.
Honestly, it's a clown show.
I touched the thing here.
Don't
you know
use
what they're
our fucking
doing?
Shut the fuck
They're
up.
training, they're conditioning the population to take adversarial politics. That's bad. People standing up and saying we're not gonna just go along. That's bad. That's what the whole media apparatus is trying to sell us on, and they're using left faces to sell that, Nick. It is disgusting. It is disgusting.
Yep.
All right, let me play the video. Let me just play the
off.
video. I'll let y'all who we won't say
Yeah.
it. Sorry for those that are just listening. We won't say it, but you can see what was said there. But anyway, here's the video again. Jamaal Bowman just being the coon that he is. I'll fast forward to the spot
that took place.
Well, first of all, welcome to my world. This is my second term, and this is how I'm beginning my second term, which is actually better than the first term, which began with an insurrection. So I guess we're making progress.
I guess.
But it's chaos. It's dysfunction. Quite honestly, it's a clown show. And this is something we warned the American people about going into the general election. They don't care about governing. They don't care about leadership. They're not accepting of our country evolving into the multiracial, multicultural democracy.
You see how he's intertwining all this other stuff. Now he's on identity politics.
See that
they're doing everything to talk about the substance of how this is an effective tool. How come nobody's asking? If you guys did this, would you have asked for something different? How come nobody's asking them that? Go ahead, Nick.
For one, Jamaal, you are not allowed to use the term clown shit. You are a clown.
Yeah.
What you are doing is clown shit. You are not allowed to steal our term, you bald-headed fuck. Secondly, and we might be demonetized. But anyway, man, this dude is so infuriating, man. He's so infuriating. But let's continue. All
right, yeah.
Unbelievable.
We are. The Republican Party has become the party of lies, of Trump, of QAnon, of MAGA, and of white supremacy. And let me not say become, it's just becoming more public that this is who they are. And they're being hijacked right now by the Freedom Caucus, which wants a
hijacked chaos. You see it, you hear, you're hijacking democracy with this chaos.
Traditional, quote unquote, nativist approach to governing, which is white patriarchal hegemonic supremacy.
He's hitting everything. Go ahead. He's hitting everything, all the points.
This is what drives us crazy, bro. You're not about to use your identity to shield for the most violent anti-black organization known to man, known as U.S. Congress. That is what he's doing. You know, Congress, who has 24% approval rating, Jamaal Bowman is using identity politics. Now, this is the negative identity politics that makes people's skin crawl. This is what the right used to, and this is how they created the woke ideology term to attack that. And Jamaal Bowman is more than happy to play his role in that, to bastardize what identity is supposed to mean. Like this, identity is supposed to be a connector. It's supposed to be something that unifies people. My people are struggling this way. Let's help each other out. This man bring up, like, he using these woke terms. I don't even know what the fuck he even going with it. For you bring this up because Republicans are debating, and all of a sudden the Republican Party having a debate and not selecting a House Speaker has to do with white supremacy? Well, how do you make that leap? How do you make that leap? That debating shit makes you a white supremacist. You know what makes you a white supremacist, Jamaal Bowman? Funding Nazis. Sending weapons to Nazis. This motherfucker talking about white supremacy as he's funding Nazis. I'm getting upset. I'm gonna let it play. I don't know if this is literally
with women and LGBTQ people and people of color, and
oh my God, he is hitting all the points, all of
their
them.
thumb with the continuation of the economic inequality that we see. So this is who they are, and we have to accept them for who they are. We have to make sure we vote their butts out of office in 2024.
Well, I'm not one to quote Jeb Bush, but he did call Trump the chaos candidate, and in many ways, Trump ushered in this new era.
So we can stop there. Yeah, go ahead.
How Trump told them to vote for Kevin McCarthy. And you see how they can't help but to bring up Trump? They bring up Trump even though Trump wanted them to vote Kevin McCarthy. They have nothing else. They have nothing else.
Do you have any other receipts? Because we can do the Briahna Ro Khanna one if you want to do that.
Let's do the Ro Khanna one, then we can read super chats after that and wrap after the Ro one. We can watch the Ro Khanna video.
This Ro Khanna video. So my computer's acting up, everybody. If it shuts off, I'll just have to, restart the video. But it's been doing that for some reason. I don't know why. But here is the video. And this is today. This is Bree along with Ro Khanna, and I think it's Batia. Batia is how you say her name. Bree and Batia interviewing Ro Khanna on the Hill. Let's look at it.
California Representative Ro Khanna appeared on Fox News yesterday and shared that he would consider voting for a moderate Republican for House Speaker. Let's take a look.
I would consider the right Republican, someone I could trust, Brian Fitzpatrick.
The right Republican, the Republican I can fund Nazis with and be okay with. The Republican where we can police funding. I want to work with a nice Republican. Now, Jamaal Bowman, this is clown shit. You understand? This is clown shit. Anyway, let's continue. I'm getting so triggered.
I want to put this on here because this is what this is like. When we were sent this video. I think I was the first one to click on it first, and then I said, "Oh my God, trigger warning!" And I was like, "Trigger warning!" Literally, the first 15 seconds, I had no idea because I didn't see this segment yesterday on the Hill. But let's play it again. I'm starting it over.
California Representative Ro Khanna appeared on Fox News yesterday and shared that he would consider voting for a moderate Republican for House Speaker. Let's take a look.
I would consider the right Republican, someone I could trust, Brian Fitzpatrick, Mike Gallagher, who actually spoke eloquently on the floor, David Joyce. But there need to be two conditions. One, you can't have debt ceiling, the debt ceiling debate or shut down as something that takes the country hostage. And two, there'd have to be some agreement on subpoena power. But I'm
his ass, the progressive. The other ask, now they're like, look at they're mad at the ask we want for force of vote. It's nothing. His ask is subpoena power. Are y'all gonna say anything about that? One of his asks is subpoena power. Why isn't it something for the people? It's subpoena power so they can go back and forth. Now he's gonna tip off why he wants the subpoena power in just a second here. But yeah, let's listen.
I'm open to a Republican who could work to put the interests of the American people first.
Representative Ro Khanna joins us now to discuss. Welcome, Congressman.
Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So for those of us who were interested in these leverage opportunities back in the force the vote realm, it's really nice to hear you talking about this kind of concretizing list of asks that the left, that progressives, that Democrats could get out of the obstruction that's happening right now in Congress. You know, you've mentioned the debt ceiling. AOC mentioned, I believe it was yesterday, that there could be some committee appointments that come out of this. How likely do you think it is that you'll get those kinds of concessions? And if it's likely, why not run up the score and try to get as much as possible in this moment?
Well, I do agree with you, Briahna. We should try to run up the score. And the biggest thing would be if we could get 6 Republicans to vote for Hakeem Jeffries. And let's see, but that should be the first goal to try to get the Republicans to vote for Hakeem.
Here that goes again, as if that's a win for us. That voting for Hakeem Jeffries is a win for the workers. That's what they're trying. That's what he spins here. But let's continue. I don't want to dwell on that point.
If that doesn't work, what I've said is we need to have not just the personality of the right Republican, but concrete concessions, that they don't hold this country a hostage to a debt ceiling debate. As it is, there are people on the far right talking about not raising the debt ceiling. That would be catastrophic for the world economy, that they commit to not shutting down the government, that there are equal appointments on the committees so that we have equal subpoena power and can shut down frivolous investigations.
So the ask in this negotiation is to shield the president, because what investigation they're going to shut down while he wants subpoena? You see how it's coming out?
Yep.
So the ask that they want in order for them to vote for a Republican is to protect Joe Biden from the Hunter Biden investigations. And that's our progressive, Nick. Just astonishing to me. Let's continue.
These are all things that we should demand.
It's so great to see you. Last time you were here, I said that you sounded more like an America First populist than like a Democrat, and you made fun of me and laughed at me and said that.
He sounds like, she basically said you sound like a Republican, and you laughed at me. Go ahead. Were you gonna say something, Nick?
See, like, bro, you preaching some mad communism right now, bro.
Let me rewind it.
Was you wrong?
Because he pushes back on that. Let me rewind it so you can hear the whole thing.
A first populist than like a Democrat, and you made fun of me and laughed at me and said that I was erasing your whole progressive record. But I think I'm being somewhat vindicated here. Is there?
She's saying she's being vindicated for what she's called you, Rokana.
So she's like the female Robbie or something.
She's the female conservative after the I forget her name, but she's blonde. She's on Counterpoints with Ryan Grimm now. Her name is Jennifer. Yeah. I think her name is Jennifer. So when she left, this is the one that kind of has been the regular replacement.
Is there anything you can tell us about behind the scenes conversations that you're having either with Republicans or with fellow Democrats about potentially crossing that aisle?
Well, there are informal conversations, but I don't think there's been anything formal to that end. They are still, the Republicans, trying to get Kevin McCarthy to be Speaker. Now, I know there's some Democrats who are upset that I even floated this, but what is the alternative? The alternative is to get a Kevin McCarthy or a Scalise with commitments to the far right, where we're going to have a debt ceiling showdown, where we're going to have a shutdown, and where we're going to have frivolous investigations into Hunter Biden.
Frivolous investigations into Hunter Biden. That's the progressive thing now. Go ahead, Nick.
Ro Khanna cares more about protecting Hunter Biden than he does the American working class. That's why I hear. They care more about protecting Hunter Biden and the Democratic Party than they do their own progressive base. And as you hear Ro Khanna insult your intelligence, remember what I said earlier. He's not gaslighting us. He's not gaslighting me. We roasted this motherfucker. Me and CJ, CJ sent a text like, holy shit, the first 2 minutes. I saw this. I rage quit within 90 seconds. So I cannot emphasize enough that they're not tricking us. They're lying to their own base. The person who donates to Ro Khanna, the person who thinks Ro Khanna is good, that's who Ro Khanna is sticking it to. And I made this point because I want to reveal how much of a scumbag these people are. They're not lying to their enemies. They're lying to their friends. Go ahead, CJ.
That is such a great point. That is such a great point that we have to start hitting home more and more, that this is what makes them worse.
I'd rather that we either try for Hakeem as speaker or we try for a Republican who's going to make concessions. And that's why I floated the idea.
Congressman Khan, it's not a real possibility that Republicans would cross the aisle to vote for Hakeem Jeffries, is it?
Well, look, there are a few Republicans in swing districts
No. This is the real dumb left. This is, I'll let the video continue, but this is the real dumb left. Here, Ro Khanna is floating the idea that it's possible that Republicans will vote for a Democrat for speaker. He's not insulting our intelligence. He's insulting his followers' intelligence. This is what you about to hear Ro Khanna explain right now is as dumb as anything Marjorie Taylor Greene ever said. This is as dumb as anything Lauren Boebert has ever said, but he's presenting this as a serious idea. Let's let it play. This is unbelievable.
And who does this serve? Who does this serve him? What he's even suggesting to do? Keep that question in the back of your mind as we listen.
Concessions to the far right that may say, I'm willing to do this, or Republicans who may be willing to retire, who may be thinking of running for the Senate or governor. Do I think it's a likely scenario? No. But is it worth pursuing?
Do I think it's going to happen?
Try to pursue it at this time where the...
We rewinded like 20 seconds after I done, but he was like, do I think it's going to happen? Nah. Will I gaslight my fans by saying it's possible? Yep.
That's exactly what he's doing.
What's up with these people with their shaky strategy? They said force the vote was shaky. Look at this motherfucker. What happened? I don't know. Shit. There's a good chance. Do you guys really believe that he's this incompetent, that he's this dumb? I don't know what his education is. He probably super educated, right? You really think that Ro Khanna is this dumb? God, I'm asking you guys this. Is Ro Khanna this dumb? He is absolutely not. He is here to trick you. He's smart enough to know he's in Washington. He knows Republicans are not going to vote for a Democrat. That will be career suicide. Hell, I saw a segment where even Morning Joe acknowledged this, CJ. They said we know that no Republican's going to vote for a Democrat. Everyone knows that except Ro Khanna, apparently. Going back to the point that I make on the show all the time, you know how Pramila Jayapal is meant to lose? Pramila Jayapal is meant to be dumb. AOC is meant to be incompetent. That's Ro Khanna doing right now. This smart Silicon Valley living. He's super intelligent. I don't know his college. But I know this dude's smart as hell. But he wants you to believe that he really thinks that Republicans would do that. As dumb, Ro Khanna and the progressives, AOC and them, they are as dumb as Marjorie Taylor Greene. They are as dumb as Lauren Boebert. They are as dumb as Matt Gaetz. The dumb Republicans, like I said this on Jimmy's show last time I was there. Like the Republican Party at one point was considered the stupid people party. What Ro Khanna is saying here is straight up stupid. You guys understand? They are the new stupid people party. The progressives are considered the dumbasses in Washington. But go ahead, CJ. Jesus Christ.
No, that's spot on. And for those who don't know, in 40 minutes, the Sabby and JB show, I just sent out the notifications through Substack. So make sure you check that out. That's in about 40 minutes. Let's continue with the video.
A few Republicans in swing districts as McCarthy continues to make all these concessions to the far right that may say, I'm willing to do this, or Republicans who may be willing to retire, who may be thinking of running for the Senate or governor. Do I think it's a likely scenario? No. But is it worth pursuing? Absolutely. We should try to pursue it at this time where the Republican Party is really facing chaos.
I mean, I ask in part because it's an interesting posture for a progressive.
Chaos.
Yeah, I was about to say that too. Chaos.
like yourself to be in, to be advocating for someone like Hakeem Jeffries, who has been so historically hostile to progressives in the House. Obviously, there was the big kerfuffle earlier this year, or last year rather, about the CPC, the Congressional Progressive Caucus's choice to endorse Shontel Brown over Nina Turner. Pramila Jayapal and Nina Turner both worked on the Bernie Sanders campaign, as you did. It was felt to many people to be like a betrayal of what it meant to be on the Progressive Caucus in the first place. Hakeem Jeffries has co-founded this super PAC that's aimed at defeating progressive challengers to attack Democratic incumbents from the left. And this is the person that there's an effort to generate energy around for the speakership. Is there any conversation happening about progressives using this opportunity to talk about who they would prefer to be?
So this is her nicely bringing up what we talked about, how this is such a betrayal that your own white left media has content for hours talking about how Hakeem Jeffries is garbage, and now nobody's going to say anything about them voting and supporting him and propping him up as a progressive, and now Ro Khanna's doing it here. But this is just Briahna's nice way of calling him out on that. She brought up the fact that he has this super PAC, all this other stuff. So what do you mean, Ro Khanna? And let's listen to his answer, and then we can get your response after his answer.
As a speaker that would better represent the interests of the left flank of the Democratic Party.
As you know, Hakeem Jeffries is part of the Progressive Caucus. He has sat down with Progressive Caucus members. He sat down with all of the caucus, and he had 212 votes. It was unanimous. Now, are there areas that I am more progressive than Hakeem Jeffries? Sure, I am for Medicare for all, for Bernie Sanders.
You see how progressives participate in the retelling of who Hakeem Jeffries is?
This motherfucker really just pretended that Hakeem Jeffries was progressive. I'm literally laughing because, like, bro, think about how dumb Ro Khanna and LC think their supporters are. I just can't. Like, he think his supporters are so goddamn dumb. He mentioned, Hakeem Jeffries part of the Progressive Caucus. He says that, expecting you to think that he's a progressive after saying that. That's how dumb he thinks you are. Yeah. We all know the Progressive Caucus is a caucus in name only, right? Everyone knows that. 100 members?
But he's one of those in-name people. That's what we have to also examine here.
Ooh.
He's not one of the real progressive people. He's one of the fake ones. He's one of the people who was there by name. He's just like a Shontel Brown and a Hakeem Jeffries. How else is he supposed to answer that question when he's those people?
Yes.
Let's just maybe 30 more seconds and we can move on. Go ahead. Yeah, maybe 30 more seconds.
Version of the bill. I am for free public college. I am for making sure that we have very, very robust protections for labor unions and organizing.
No, really
should have.
Except for breaking a strike. Except for that part.
But gotten rid of the
policy. You see how they redefine, and you know what? I want to stop here because we do still have the Sam Seder video. But you see how they define left by a certain topics that has been okay. Medicare for all, $15 minimum wage, and a couple of other different things. You're left now. Yep. No attachment to the war machine. No attachment to the working class. We saw Vivek talk about that. Go ahead.
Well, then you was on point. You're on fire. No connection to state violence, guys. Everyone except AOC, because she was the rotating hero, voted for DHS and ICE suspension. You know the thing they were calling to abolish under Donald Trump? So according to Ro Khanna, you can vote for those things, you're still leftist. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that funny?
Very convenient. Very convenient. Sorry to cut you off. Now, this is a short video. Everybody's seen this already. This is the one that kind of blew up on Twitter that everybody's calling out Sam Seder. He goes after everybody. This is clearly a video in response to Briahna Joy Gray and Jimmy Dore. Literally, this is a video about that. It's like 5 minutes long. Short, very short. Let's listen.
Millennial industrial complex. People still claiming that the squad could have gotten Medicare for all if they had just forced the vote, and it's just exhausting. Honestly, you have to be the dumbest person in the world to believe that. Yeah, or market or just really, really invested in it. Yeah. First of all, the vote was going to lose. Their strategy was not that you would get Medicare for all. Their strategy was the vote will lose. There'll be such outrage from the American public that we'll be able to target those Democrats.
Now, I'm going to rewind it. Now, just think about it. All the stuff that Nick and I covered throughout this 2 hour plus stream, where we show all the different ways through what the Republicans are doing and saying AOC or the squad members should be in this position saying this from the left perspective. And he's trying to act like there's no value at all in that. How does this sounds, think of CIA infiltration tactics and also think of the same point of view position that Sean Hannity was coming from. It's the same position. Let's listen.
Democrats who voted against it.
I'm going to rewind it because I want to hear it from the beginning.
Millennial industrial complex. People still claiming that the squad could have gotten Medicare for all if they had just forced the vote, and it's just exhausting. Honestly, you have to be the dumbest person in the world to believe that.
Yeah, or market
or just really, really invested in it. Yeah. First of all,
so according to Sam Seder,
their strategy.
Just real quick. So according to Sam Seder, the fight for healthcare will be in a better position if we shut the fuck up and don't talk about it. Can someone quote me a historical example of that? Like the women's suffrage? Yeah, women got the right to vote because they shut the fuck up until they had it. The civil rights movement. The civil rights movement was a 100-year campaign. White people think the civil rights movement started in 1960. They think it was like a 4-year thing. They think when JFK signed the Civil Rights Act, they think it's over then, even though it's still ongoing. When you are activists, your job is to raise awareness on important issues and highlight to ordinary people how the ruling class do not have your best interests at heart. There is nothing better than that than forcing to vote on healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. So then we will have MSNBC anchors doing the same thing Sean Hannity just did, where they're in a position where they have to argue against having healthcare in the middle of a pandemic. Wow, that policy is supported by 80% of Americans. And these people have so little revolutionary imagination, they don't see how that will put healthcare in a stronger position than it is now. Right now, there's no Medicare fraud that's happening. We got a president that will veto it. There's no discussion on it. Hell, we can't even get a public option. And despite all that, AOC is still more unpopular than Hillary Clinton. So AOC is extremely unpopular. There's no discussion on healthcare, but Sam thinks we'll be in a better position now versus forced to vote. CJ, we had March for Medicare for All in June, in the summer. Imagine how much bigger the March for Medicare for All would have been if there was a national discourse over healthcare just 6 months prior. Man, hell, there would have been one in between probably. There would have been more healthcare speeches. But the real dumb left, thinks that there is value in not engaging in these fights. I show you the receipt that shows the right got concessions. Historically, it is a fact that he is wrong. It's a historical fact. The right got concessions. The progressives would have got those concessions. That would have made the moderate Democrats expose themselves and create the public debate that we need to get people on our side. But go ahead, CJ. Let's continue the video. Man, I'm on this.
Yeah, it's hard, but we're almost done. We're like a quarter.
For all, their strategy was the vote will lose. There'll be such outrage from the American public.
Why wouldn't there?
We'll be able to target those Democrats who voted against it.
Sam, this is my last interaction. I'll let it go for a while. So Sam is saying that there wouldn't be an outrage? Are you serious? In the middle of a pandemic, in the most popular dude, does this sound believable? He thinks the people who watch him the same way we're all he thinks the people are idiots. You really think that the American people seeing the Congress that has a 24% approval rating, Nancy Pelosi that is sitting at minus 22 in her approval rating, you think the American people randomly is going to stand up and support for these unpopular people and structures over something that has 80% of approval rating? That is unbelievable lack of logic. Unbelievable. But let's continue. I'm done.
But he's white and male, and he can just say the shit with no evidence whatsoever. And on this particular force to vote, when has he ever had receipts? When? Think about the Jackson Hinkle debate. I know it wasn't forced to vote, but think about Briahna Joy Gray. All the conversations, when does he bring receipts? We have receipts now. What we can see what the conservatives are doing and how they're extracting concessions. Let's listen.
For 2024
or 2022.
2022. Do you know how many people those people primaried? Like, we already know a bunch of those people who weren't going to vote for it. None of them were primaried in a serious primary. I mean, it's is
insincere.
So I just can't even believe that they actually believe it.
See, they are so close so many times, but then they just miss it. They just miss it. Oh, these corporate Democrats, they wasn't primaried. Oh my God, we didn't get any progressive wins. Why do you think that is? Because they abandoned their base, Sam. Progressives this year was slaughtered in the primaries. Slaughtered. Because people like Nina Turner and you lost support. That's why they can't win the primaries. So it's like the chicken or the egg. So Sam says, well, the progressives, they're not winning these primary challenges. But what comes first? Are they not winning the primary challenges because they're ignoring the base? That's what I would say. Anyway, let's continue. Let's play. I can't. Sam is so fucking annoying. I can't. I just can't. Let's continue. I'll let the
honestly, I think there's three explanations.
It's an oxygen wasting operation.
Totally ignorant. 2 is completely deluded.
He's not making any arguments.
And 3 is just like making money. And maybe all of those things come together.
Just like Sean Hannity, not talking about the substance, just talking about personality, just random stuff. And this is the guy in the back you hear. This is the person who I thought is Matt Binder. I don't know if that's Matt Binder, but it's Matt somebody in the background where I said he's a nominee for the dumbest person in political podcasting. Is that voice you hear in the background talking to Sam?
I still failed to understand how a performative vote on Medicare for all would have even accomplished anything or revealed fake supporters when the bill would have just died in the Senate anyway. No, it would have died in the House.
Yeah, it would have died in the House.
There was 120. There's 120 some odd.
He's moving the goalpost by trying to say the point of it was to see how many people would vote, as if the vote was supposed to win. You see how that if your argument has to be based on not even what your opponent is even saying, you know how you're just revealing how you have a terrible argument? Because your argument is based not even on what your opponent is saying. You have to change what your opponent is even saying in order for you to even make a point. And that's what he's doing. And that's what they all do. Anna did it too in the video.
And he's not good faith, by the way, because he debated Briahna Joy Gray, who explained this stuff to him, but he's acting dumb on purpose. The same thing the Smurfs and the Humans Report guy was doing. Remember how they just act dumb because they're trying to sell a message? Oh man, who knows what their strategy would be? Oh my God, the vote was lost. Then what? Nigga, we just explained it to literally 2.5 hours of this live stream. We explained the positives, but he don't bring none of it up because he can't debate it. He lacks so much intellect. His argument throughout the course of this video thus far has been saying, oh my God, people who forced to vote, they are big, stupid dum-dums. They're big, dumb, stupid heads. That's literally elementary. No, for real. His whole argument throughout this whole video been elementary. No logic, not taking our argument that we made and then debunking it. He just said, oh my God, so dumb, so stupid, dude, dumb. Well, they had no strategy. No literally,
dumb. You're dumb. Shit. You're dumb.
That's it. No argument. Imagine if I did a video, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to destroy Cenk Uygur's logic. And I played a video like, man, Cenk is just an ugly dude, man. He looked dumb. He looked, oh my God, his hair look like, and I don't address his arguments at all. That's what Sam does every goddamn video. Just call people names. Just call people dumb and then hope that his audience that love confident white dudes will think he in the right. To be a confident white dude and say your opposition is dumb, and that's all it takes, apparently. Anyway, I keep saying I'll let Finn, but Finn just hard.
Let's get rid of this person.
Yeah. We still got
so let's
too.
just a couple minutes, and then we'll finally get out of here.
Odd sponsors in the Democratic caucus of Medicare for All. Presumably, let's just say there was even like 50 more Democrats who would support it in a vote they know is going to fail. Republicans would vote it down. It wouldn't pass. Yeah. Nancy Pelosi said she was against Medicare for All.
The whole point was for losing the House, and then the Democrats you need to primary. But even the ones that would have voted for it in that doomed vote, you couldn't have trusted either. It's complete. And the whole thing.
You see how he literally says the dumbest stuff on the off screen. He's like, "Hey, you say some dumb shit. Can you go off screen, please, so people won't throw shit at the screen?" He literally says some of the dumbest shit. He just interjects. But this argument, Nick, is that, and it's almost like you can see it in his face that he really is not. He's just putting this out there. He's so smug, like he doesn't have a belief. This is the look of a person who don't have core beliefs, because all his material needs are being met. Everything is great for his life. So he just, workers want, first of all, fuck you. Let me just say it. It's bad. You're dumb. That's it. That's all he's doing. It's no, and then the guy on the back is co-signing as if to say, you're right, white guy. You're right. Again, white man. Let's listen, and then we can end here.
Thing is, like Jimmy Dore's entire idea is like that all that squad stuff is pointless. So the idea that he's like, it's pointless, but also you could have done this and actually done something. Those are contradictory. Jimmy was only interested in that too.
So this is the point. If your strategy is to take over the Democratic Party via primary challenges, how does it make sense for you to be against forced to vote? CJ, we could do it either way. He don't even understand. He made our argument. We can do it either way. We believe you should organize outside the Democratic Party, right? But if you are for taking over the Democratic Party, something like forced to vote is crucial. Because then that will give you the leverage you need to primary the corporate Democrats. Instead, you guys went to 2022 with nothing. And then you guys got washed. And now you guys are like, man, why did Nina Turner keep losing to Chantal Brown? You guys keep losing because you guys suck at your own strategy. Your own strategy of taking on the Democratic Party requires you to demonize the neoliberal faction of the party that you're replacing. But instead, you provide PR for the neoliberal wing of the party. And then when they beat you, you look around like, oh my God, it must be because of dark money. No, it's because you guys have no strategy and you guys suck.
And they're always wanting us to write down your strategy, write down your strategy. You haven't even told us your strategy here. We can't coherently understand what it is you're trying to do. Exactly. But they constantly demand a strategy written out. All your steps. To show us your steps. Cenk, Anna, Sam, what is yours?
So AOC anyway, squad, so we don't have evidence. Well, actually we do now because we saw the Republicans do it. But these people pretend that AOC and Bernie have not been listening to them. AOC did what you want, Sam. AOC did not force the vote. What is the result of that? So after following your direction, she didn't force the vote. We are farther than Medicare for All than we possibly ever will be. And she is more unpopular than Nancy Pelosi. Do you see what happens when the left listens to you? Nigga, they've been listening to you for 10 years. And left is weaker than it's ever been. But he don't care. He's here to collect the paycheck. There's no way this guy's legit, man. Let's finish.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way. I don't buy it no more.
Reify his position that it's pointless.
And I think for other people, it was just a way to build a new show that they were developing.
Right.
Fifth vote ended. Everyone the same.
Again, one present.
One present from Sparts, 20 for Donalds, 201 for McCarthy, 212 for Jeffries.
Oh, 201 for McCarthy. Wasn't it 202 before?
Oh, let me double check this video.
Did he lose another vote? Maybe somebody stepped out of the chamber.
All right, I think we're done here.
Yeah,
this is good. Yeah. Let's get some super chats. I'm trying to be fast because we got 15 minutes. Oh, sorry, I got it. We got 15 minutes.
My bad.
Yeah, we got 15 minutes to the JB and Savvy show, so I'm gonna try to get through as many super chats as I can real quick. Thank you for the 499, Peter. Wait, he said he's on the side of Trump. Wasn't McCarthy a big Trump supporter? How are they on the side? Yeah, see, this is another person who's been watching it, and they, like, you know, our audience, we got critical thinking skills, right? So when people with critical thinking skills watching this shit, we like, wait, this shit's not adding up. and that's what this comment is doing. This is in response to one of our old videos when they would say, "Oh my God, it's so Trumpian," even though Trump wants McCarthy to be speaker. How does that make sense?
Doesn't make sense.
Word of the day: chaos. See, we don't have a giant audience, but our audience is gonna be trained. Our audience is gonna be have a lot of revolutionary discipline. And so when you guys see someone use the word chaos, you guys know exactly what it is. Meanwhile, Sam Cedars' audience, seeing people say chaos, like, oh my God, they're falling for. I guarantee you, Sam Cedars' audience fall for every single Democratic Party psyop. He has his audience. The way we try to train our audience to have revolutionary discipline, his audience probably has zero. They fall for every single important Joe talking point. They probably read New York Times. They probably they all for the Ukraine war, guaranteed. They for $4.99. I said I won't be fast. So I'll try to be. They for $4.99 manual. Duck. Why YouTube? Very powerful comment. Very a visionary, as we see right now. These are the kind of words that are going to be studied in YouTube history. I'm telling you, man. Manual with the heat right here. Duck. Why YouTube? Man, almost got a tear coming down my eye. Very powerful super chat. Thank you for $5. And Adam, I don't know if y'all have reacted to it, but Sam. Oh yeah, I think that's the one we just saw. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, we just did that. So he sent it. Adam, I assume, sent this earlier. So I'll just thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $9.99. Fox, Mint, Dissonant. People are in the streets dying and without health care. If you come in on the news as anything but angry or disgruntled, the trust is lowered. Why are you smiling? Great point. And this is a point. I got to be very short, so I'll make the point very quick. Remember the segment we did on toxic positivity?
Yeah. Bernie Sanders does it a lot. Yeah.
Is the number one person who's guilty of toxic positivity. AOC is learning from the master. So once again, I keep myself short. That's an example of toxic positivity there. Thanks for the $2, Marvin. AOC positioning herself for a book, movie, TV deal. Absolutely. Can you put those CIA tactics in the chat, please? If you guys
tweet, at least a tweet, maybe.
If you guys want facts, access to it, this is how I'll find it real quick. Excuse me. If you go on Twitter, just search my username, Socialist MMA, and CIA. It'll pull up real quick. That's how I always able to find on stream. I'll just type that. But this is very publicly released information. You also can search Google CIA. Oh, wait, sorry.
CIA, oh, yeah, you say that again, yeah.
Sorry, I actually hit the mute button by accident. CIA infiltration tactics. That's a good Google. If you Google that, you'll find that list and you'll find articles talking about it as well. Mm-hmm. So that's my suggestion for you guys.
And if you're on Twitter, if you search that, his tweet will come up because I've done it.
So that's what we was. I put a few super stickers. Our brother Rome, that I saw just came in. Other than that, I think we got it all. Just saw one popped in. Another solidarity super sticker from Grudge. If you didn't get a chance to leave the super chat before the stream, you always can support us on the Patreon as well. We got a link below. You can see on the scroll there. That's all I have, CJ. I'll pass to you. We got.
Yeah, we're gonna get off now. I'll just play this Briahna Joy Gray video to take us out. It's the other radar about this, so you can take off, Nick, if you needed to.
Squad members
make sure you come. Make sure you come back to watch the JB and Sabby show that will be coming on in about 12-13 minutes. This video will take us out. Thank you for supporting us. Don't forget to check out the website. Here is the website here. I showed a preview earlier. Make sure you check out the website. If you're not part of our Substack, make sure you join our Substack. You get notifications when we go live. Nick and I usually do a show on Saturday or Sunday, so maybe this weekend we might get together to do something, depending on what the news is. I'm sure this story will continue. So again, join our Substack. Here is our new email down here. So this is how you contact us. The Google email, we're no longer, we're going to be retiring that. So this is our new email. Take it down. Make sure you email us. Here is our website. And here is Briahna Joy Gray talking about, briefly, I'm not going to play all of it, but it may be 2 or 3 minutes of it before the video will die.
force the vote.
Not die, but end.
Progressive squad members could leverage their speakership vote to extract concessions from Nancy Pelosi. Now, unlike Republicans now, the left's asks were to be substantive, not just procedural. One key ask was a vote on Medicare for all, which was intended to keep the fight alive and draw contrast between Democrats' claims that they want to improve health care for Americans and the fact that they repeatedly kill Medicare for all legislation as quickly as they receive money from the pharmaceutical industry. If you want to understand why the vote for Medicare for all was such an important ask, just look at what's happened over the last 2 years. Look at how California, with its Democratic supermajority legislature, killed a statewide Medicare for all bill, or consider how silent all of the squad members have been about Medicare for all since the end of the Bernie campaign. Did 68,000 people a year stop dying from a lack of health insurance, or did it just become uncool to talk about it now that we're outside of a fundraising cycle? Now, some of us, fearful that exactly this would happen, rallied over the holidays in 2020, staffing phone trees and calling progressive Congress members furiously about the plan and even planning rallies. As left media figures debated the merits of the plan, people like David Sirota offered constructive additions to the ask, including a suggestion that Pelosi be forced to oust corporate Democrat Richie Neal from the Ways and Means Committee, where he was poised to stop progress on health care reform. What should be clear is the specifics of the ask were much less important than the following fact. Nancy Pelosi was obviously an enemy to the left and should not have been voted for without gaining something significant in return. After AOC's first notable day in Congress, during which she protested with climate activists in Pelosi's office, the longtime speaker made quick work of bullying the squad members into submission. An iron fist and a Gucci glove is how Politico described Pelosi once. And over the course of their first 2 years in Congress, the squad members largely submitted to said fist. But here was an opportunity to draw attention to the corruption that paid for that proverbial Gucci glove. The squad members could have demanded important committee assignments. Claims that they want to improve health care for Americans and the fact that they repeatedly kill Medicare for all legislation as quickly as they receive money from the pharmaceutical industry. If you want to understand why the vote current rebel Republicans have done, they could have forced a vote on banning stock trading by Congress members. After all, Pelosi's personal wealth has ballooned during her decades in office, widely out of proportion to her congressional salary. This is a woman who famously defended congressional stock trading despite the clear conflict of interest and insider knowledge Congress members possess. This is a woman who just presided over the quiet death of a bill to end congressional stock trading, one that was arguably designed to fail in the first place. But instead of choosing that moment to fight, to highlight the corruption of the Democratic Party, and to lead a genuine populist movement that stood a chance of waking people up to the limitations of the two-party duopoly, something curious happened. A call seemed to go out to leading figures in the progressive media that they should force the vote. Although I first heard of the idea from Sam Seder, host of the YouTube show Majority Report, who said he supported Jimmy Dore's idea despite having a long-standing feud with Jimmy. He quickly changed his tune, alluding to a call he'd received that discouraged this approach. A call from whom? We could only guess.